Yeah, I'm really happy you're paying attention and I can see all the places you're joining from. So, yeah, welcome everyone once again. Right, so let's get into it. We are still celebrating women, even if the official celebration day was the 8th of March, right? We can't be celebrated enough. And today's conversation is still part of that celebration, right? We're celebrating the International Women's Day. And to this day, we're hosting this roundtable session that we have titled How Three Women Built Tech Careers in the US, UK, and Canada. Now, the tech industry has created a lot of opportunities over the years, right? But we also know how the journey into tech, especially building a tech career internationally, can sometimes feel very confusing, intimidating, and almost never straightforward or linear, right? There are always questions about how to start, how to grow, how to navigate the many challenges that exist, and how to also build sustainable careers in these global markets, right? And that's exactly why conversations like this matter, right? Because the best highlights and the best insights usually come from people that have actually walked the paths themselves, right? But before we dive into the session itself, I'll give you a bit of context as to why we're hosting the session. One of the biggest conversations happening right now in tech is around representation and opportunity, right? More women are entering the industry, more women are leading teams, more women are also building incredible careers across the UK, US, and Canada, and many other places as well. But the journey is never as linear, like I said, especially building a career, a global career, right? A lot of people are trying to figure out how to break into the industry, how to grow in it, and how to navigate the challenges that come with it. And that's exactly what the session this evening is about. Today, we're bringing together women who are not just talking about their tech careers, they're actually building them, right? They have built them to a large extent and they're still in the works of building them. These are women who have navigated the learning curve, they've faced a lot of challenges, they've built their expertise, and they have established themselves in global tech environments. So this conversation is really about pulling back the curtains on that journey, not just the highlights, but the real experiences, the lessons, right? The decisions they've had to make, and the advice that can help others who might be on the same path, right? So, I mean, this is the best time to introduce these women I'm speaking about. But before we go into that as well, I'd like to speak about Amdari, right, which is the company that's putting this together. We are a career accelerator company that is designed to help you gain practical experience that your employers are looking for, right, through structured internships and real world projects, not anything stimulated, right? We are able to make you employable, make you become a professional in practice, right, and prepare you for the real world that you're supposed to get into. We bridge the gap between learning, between being certified, and between being employable, right? Our mission is simply to help you build credible work experience. We're also supposed to help you, we also help you develop professional confidence, right? And position you to compete on a global scale, right? That's what we do at Amdari. And at this point, I'll be introducing the panelists in the session. Right, let's start from the first person in no particular order. We have Marianne, who is a cloud security leader based in Canada, and she currently serves as an Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Security Operations Lead. She holds a bachelor degree in information technology and a master's degree in cybersecurity, and she has also built her career within the tech industry from the ground up. With expertise in cloud security governance, risk, compliance, and enterprise security operations, Mimi works at the intersection of security controls, regulatory alignment, and strategic risk management. She's passionate about helping organizations strengthen their cloud environment while maintaining operational excellence. Beyond her corporate role, she is committed to mentoring and guiding aspiring professionals, particularly immigrant women and those transitioning into tech, to build sustainable and high impact careers in technology. If you're still with me, I'd like you to say welcome to Mimi. Yeah, thank you, Halimat. You did what I was about to ask you to do. Yeah, thank you so much for acknowledging that. Then I'll speak to the next Yeah, thank you, Mimi. We see you. Welcome on board. I'll speak to the next panelist. Her name is Itunu, and she is an enterprise technology software engineer at a Fortune 500 company, bringing over 6 years of experience across software engineering, data, education, technology as well. And she has made significant contributions to the tech industry, including impactful work at top organizations such as Amazon. She holds a master's in computer science and quantitative methods from, I like all of these applause. It feels like I can hear you in my head, really, right? As we're saying, she holds a master's in computer science and quantitative methods from Austin Penn State University, USA, and a bachelor's in mathematics and education from the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Beyond her engineering career, she's the founder of Brainery, a platform where she provides mentorship and guidance to early stage professionals looking to break into tech and build thriving global careers, right? She's also a recognized leader in her field, and she's a 2 times US Tech Talent Award recipient, honored with both the Einstein Talent Award among an elite group of foreign nationals acknowledged for their exceptional contributions to the United States. She also leads a growing LinkedIn community of over 22,700 followers as well. And we have Chisom, who is a technical program manager at Dell, where she leads a portfolio of initiatives within the modernization portfolio. Her focus is on the concept phase of modernization projects, driving clarity and confidence in cost benefit and that analysis, establishing governance frameworks, and standardizing processes that guide early stage decision making, with programs spanning intelligent sizing tools, benefits alignment reviews, and modernization governance. Her work has contributed to more than 14 billion in projected savings. By focusing on how data and AI tools can strengthen early infrastructure decisions, Chisom has ensured that modernization programs are built on solid evidence-based foundation. Exactly, we have powerful women in our midst this evening. Beyond her corporate role, she is the co-founder of Black Women in P3M, a global community advancing presentation, leadership, opportunity for Black women in projects, program, and portfolio management. She's also deeply passionate about professional development and advocates for intentional growth, reminding professionals that there is something more to them, that they are not random, and that they are called to something greater, and that growth is their responsibility. When she's not working, Chisom is a tech creator, producing content on global program management, personal finance, and lifestyle to inspire a community of multi-potentialities and young professionals as well. If you're still on this call, oh yeah, I see the applause already, and I'm so excited that you're paying attention. Hi Chisom, welcome on board. Then finally, last but not least, we have Opeyemi, who is a data specialist with 5 years of experience in data analytics, machine learning, and data governance. She specializes in turning complex data into actionable insights through scalable analytics and strong data management practices. She holds an MSc in data science and analytics from the University of, I'm not sure how to pronounce this one, so I don't want to ruin it, and currently works as a data analyst at InPost UK. Opeyemi is also an alumni of Amdari IWD 2025. And I'm particularly excited about Opeyemi joining us on this call because she's literally a product of everything that Amdari is about. And I'm happy that you'll be listening to her firsthand, share her experience, how she navigated the entire tech space, speak about her journey and all that she has to share with you. So without taking so much of our time, we'll move now into the panel discussion itself. Right. Today's conversations, like I said, will explore personal career journeys, would also speak about how you should navigate challenges in tech, how you can build successful careers abroad. And, you would also receive practical advice from these women who are building their careers today. And I'll be handing over to Omolmi, who is the co-founder at Amdari. And of course, I would also read her bio out to you as well. She is a technology leader, author, and co-founder, and chief technology and business officer at Amdari. And she began her career as a website developer and has since progressed through multiple roles in project management and technology leadership, building and leading products at the intersection of technology and business operations. She's passionate about the future of work and growth of African talent, and she focuses on helping professionals build. Why am I not seeing the applauses? Okay, thank you, Nengi. Thank you, Andrew. She focuses on, helping professionals build real career capital through skills, experience, and ownership as well. She's also the author of The Law of Little Bets, a book that explores how small intentional experiments can evolve into meaningful innovation and long-term impact. When she's not building technology or working on career development initiatives, Omom is writing scripts for film, bringing stories to life through her passion for storytelling and as well. And so that said, Omomi would be handling the entire conversation with these women that spread the bios to you, and should moderate the panel from here on out, guiding conversation with our speakers. And I would like to hand over to Omomi. Omomi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well and clear. Thank you so much, Angel. Please confirm I'm very audible. Am I so audible?
Yeah, you're very audible. Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you, Angel. So I think you can stop sharing your screen. I hope we're excited to be here as much as I am. And I mean, you've heard the bio of every panelist that we have today. It is studded with powerful women. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that these women are people whose career has honestly been inspiring. You watch them from afar and they are just, it's just beautiful to see. I mean, I had the opportunity to work with Ichino at some point, and trust me, her growth is always, she's somebody that dares, right? I met Chisom at a pivotal time in her career, and watching her from afar also just inspirational. So trust me, this conversation is going to be exciting. We also have Miriam on the call with us, who is going to be sharing her journey as well as every other lady on the call. So I'm going to be pinning them. So let's have the spotlight on every lady that is on the call today. So Angel, I think you want to pin everyone because I don't think I can do that from my end. Okay. So yes, it's so great to be here once again. And trust me, this conversation is very important because not only is it inspirational, but it's going to give you practical guidance on how to build your career in tech as, of course, an immigrant in the UK, US, or Canada. Now, I want you to do something for me. We are 60 plus people on this call. I am sure you have friends, colleagues, family members that you know a conversation like this is going to benefit. Please do not hoard information. This is 2026. Okay, do not hoard information, do not hoard opportunities. Share this link with them. Let them join us. Let them be a part of this conversation because you will be hearing firsthand from ladies who have done it. And it's not limited to women alone because I think I see more women. This session is open to all genders, okay? Please invite your spouses, your male friends. Let everybody be on the call with us. So I'm going to start with my first question. And so this panel is in 3 segments. First segment is going to talk about the early transition phase, especially as an immigrant, navigating a new client, right? And then the second segment is going to be on competing in a new land, right? Competing in the US, competing in the UK as a tech professional. And then the last segment is going to be purely on what changed the game for them. What did they do differently that helped them to land a job? Because at the end of the day, right, relocating is not just about trying to navigate a new environment. We're talking navigating professional culture. We're talking realizing that beyond just trying to understand how this place works or what goes on here, you also need to be strategic in how you position. You also need to be very, very intentional because it's like starting from the scratch. If you look at it, you need to learn their professional culture. You need to understand that your strategy also has to be very, very strong, right? So you're not just coming in to do the same thing that was working for you in Nigeria. The game changes here. And that's why, again, you're not just going to be hearing from me. You'll be hearing from people who have lived this reality. I love to say they went, they saw, and they conquered. Because these ladies will not be sharing immigration stories. They'll be sharing stories of how they moved to a new land and they are thriving there, competing. They're not surviving, okay? Competing and also excelling. How are they winning in this new environment? So I'll start with the first person. Hi, Itunu. Hello.
Hi, Mommy. Good
How
evening.
are
I know
you?
it's evening
Good
already.
evening. Yeah. Yeah. It's joining us from the US, and it's great to have her on the call. It's me, currently working with Forge. She has worked with Amazon. She's a star, you guys. She's a brain box. So I would like to start with my first question, right? I'll pretend like I'm not familiar with something. So I would ask some questions and move on to the next. So my first question is going to be on when you moved to the US, right? So when you moved to the US, what was the biggest adjustment you had to make professionally when trying to enter the job market? That's in the US now. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for the question. And once again, hi, everyone. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, so I would say that for me, the biggest adjustment I had to make professionally was when I first got here was definitely, the interview culture. Back home in Nigeria, interviews were pretty much, straightforward. You talk through your experiences and your skills, and that was pretty much, it. But here in the US, it's quite different. I quickly realized that, a behavioral interview is part of the, interview process, and that's kind of like new. That was new to me. You have to go through the behavioral interview where you have to give your responses in a very structured manner. So I learned that, and after that, I started, preparing for each interviews I was preparing for. I followed that approach. And I don't know if anyone is familiar with that interview I'm talking about, where, you're being asked to give like, oh, tell me about a time when you, had to meet a tight deadline. Tell me about a time when you had to do this and that and that. And you have to give your responses in a very structured manner. You have to follow a certain, they call it the STAR approach, right? Where the S is the situation, you talk about the context, and then you also talk about the, the task that that you had to do, the action you took, and also the results that you had. And just briefly talk about the learnings, like what did you learn, what could you have done differently. I had to learn that, how to do that, right? That was a very big part. Each interview I do, that is always a big part of the interview. And you can be very good you can be very good technical wise, you can have all the skills, all the technical skills in the world, but if you are not able to show them that you can work in a corporate setting. You can let them, you can adjust to, what's it called? You can handle conflicts, you can, meet deadlines, you can do all of those things. If you're not able to show that, then yeah, that's going to be rejection. So yeah, that was one of the things that I had to learn. So as soon as I knew that, each interview that I prepare for, that is always a big part of my preparation.
Thank you very much for that beautiful response. So there's something I always say when I speak to prospects that, want to join our diary. One thing I always say is when it comes to acing your interview, you need to give them signals that doesn't make you look like you are learning, like you're an enthusiast. The signals have to say something, and that is you're a contributor. And it will said something about showing that you've met deadlines. If you've never contributed in a team before, there is no way you would have stories around meeting deadlines, reporting to a stakeholder, or presenting, right? So it's very important. What she's just said now, it might just sound like, okay, works, but I promise you, it is something you want to hold and practice. It's very important for your stories during interviews to be solid and backed by, signals that say you have contributed before. Do you want to say something, Ituno?
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. So the other thing was I also needed to upskill, right? I needed to add more projects, side projects to, stay competitive. You're actually competing with not just citizens who are without restrictions, visa restrictions and all of that. You're also competing with people that are, in the Ivy Leagues and top schools, right? I want to say my school wasn't a top school, but yeah, it's not an Ivy League, I would say, right? So you're competing with people that are in the Ivy Leagues. So you need to stand out, right? So I also I knew that I needed to, work on more projects, pretty much building my portfolio again and, attending boot camps. I attended some boot camps while in school. And then I took some extra certifications, which, I added to my resume. And that was one of the things that, helped me land my first role. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that context. That was really well put. Portfolio and documenting it, definitely. So my next question, and by the way, so apparently I can only pin 3 people at a time. So I'll be, we would be taking turns. Let me just put it that way. So I'll pin Mimi next so that we go like that. So my next question is actually to Chisom. And this simply is going to be around the mistakes that you made. We see people make a lot of mistakes, especially when they're in a new country, they just relocated and all that. So from your own personal experience, sorry, please. So from your own personal experience, sorry, call is coming in. Okay. So from your own personal experience, Chisom, what mistakes did you make as an immigrant that you see many immigrants make today, right? Especially when applying to jobs. So let's just make it around. What mistakes did you make that you also see immigrants making today?
Okay. Thank you for the question, Mumi. Hi, Mumi. So I wouldn't say I think I almost made this mistake, but I kind of called myself to order quite very early in my journey, right? So I live in Ireland. So right after getting to Ireland, one of the things that I heard was there are no jobs, and you need to start living like as you're entering Ireland, you need to start applying to Canada. And I started the process, and I was at the point I'm like, we've not even given Ireland a chance. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. I started, and quite a number of people in my cohorts, a lot of them applied to Canada. But I did not think it made any sense because the story we were hearing was there are no jobs. So we are also hearing you have to have like a backup plan, and backup plan in this case was having like a care job or being a carer in a nursing home. So I think one of the biggest mistakes I find that immigrants make is putting themselves in circles like that. Immediately I found that out. I took myself out of that circle and started moving with people who believe that there were jobs, because were the jobs difficult to get? Yes. But were they there? Yes. So I kind of it was very important to be very strategic from the beginning. So I took myself out of that space and then start moving with the right people, right? So I think that is very important to make sure you know who you are moving with, because the people that you start moving with at the beginning, they can make or mar your journey at the end of the day. In Ireland, you get 2 years post-study visa after your course, right? And if you start moving with people that believe that you need to be a carer, you need to have a backup plan as in a nursing home or something like that, and you start investing in that, you would go into the process so much so that by the time you realize that it was the wrong move, it's too late to even switch to something else. And then you are thinking, oh my God, I don't have a visa, things like that. I think another mistake, I did make this mistake as well again, because I went into Ireland very, not necessarily very informed, but very intentional. But this is something that I have seen people make as well, is they're so focused on visa sponsorship that they can literally do anything for it, right? I know, I completely understand how important it is and how essential it is to be in the country. But the moment you land, and that's the same thing you're focused on, I think he can really just redirect the way your career or your journey would go, as opposed to being focused on visa sponsorship. Why not focus on the strategy you would use to get the job that would eventually get you a visa sponsorship, right? I think that if you're exceptional, or if you know what you're doing, all those things would come. Again, it's not as easy, right? But Ireland gives you, or most of all these countries gives you sufficient time to do what you need to do. And if you play your cards right, you would get it eventually. So those were some of the key mistakes that I think that I saw people make it, that I almost made. But I think it's important to be aware of the people that you surround yourself with, because they change, the way they think is the way you think, the way they talk is the way you talk, what they believe is what you believe. And you would see that 2 years down the line, you've not gotten anything, and then you're applying for extension. It's just a cycle of unhealthy things. So that's definitely protect your mindset at the very beginning, because it defines what every other year would look like afterwards.
Guys, so words on Margot. Now, she said a lot of things that I really like, but there's one thing I would emphasize on from what she said. She said something about the category of people you go with. It's going to make or mar your growth in let's just generalize it right now. So there's something that one of the co-founders of Ondari this session is going to be worth your while. That's one. Secondly, thank you all for doing what I said earlier. I said one thing. I said, please invite your friends, colleagues, and family members. You know we'll benefit from this. We're on 60 at that time, and now we have 80 people on this call. Please, you can still do more. Reach out to them, because I have a gift for you guys on the call today. I will tell you I will give you a gift, and if I know that I don't have a gift for you. This session is not just meant to charge you. This session is not just meant to be inspirational. Again, you'll be hearing practical steps in form of experiences, right? These are things you need to implement. I didn't go through the stress of reaching out to Chisom, Itunu, Miriam, and also Opemi just to waste your time. Trust me, this conversation is going to be quality and worth your while. So if you have people you want to share this link with, do that. And you also, please stick around. It's going to be one of the best 2 hours of your life. I promise. It's going to be one of the best, because conversations that will help your career is what we're discussing here now. She's back to the statement. There's something Epimena, one of the co-founders of Amdari, would always say. He would say access to information when you move to any new country is what would really, really help you. And the quality of that information and the type of information you have access to at that very early stage is now what's going to help you thrive or survive, compete or survive. And like I said earlier, this story is about people, right, like yourself, who left Nigeria, moved to a new country, and they are currently winning within that space. What are they doing differently? And that's one thing that Chisom just mentioned. She moved with people that had quality information, the kind that makes sense to her. And also, speaking of visa sponsorship, I'll stop it there, but I just really like her response. So thank you so much, Chisom, for that. That was really, really amazing. Now, I'll move on to Miriam now. Hi, Miriam. Miriam, sorry. Hi,
Yes,
Miriam.
for me.
Yeah, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so my question to you, Miriam, is very simple. I'd like to know, how did you position yourself? Or let's just say, how did you position your background and previous experiences when speaking with recruiters, and how many rejections did you get? Right. So how was the positioning? How did you position yourself, and how many rejections? Let's talk about rejections. People think that it's so easy.
It's
when
not
they
that
see that exactly. So I want us to address
rejections. Can I actually keep count of rejections? I don't think so. I'm not the kind of person that keeps negativity. But I wouldn't say it was an easy path. So from a very young age, I would say I've always known what I wanted. Do you get it? I'm generally not the kind of person that I wait or I follow crowd. I go looking for what is not looking for me. So it's like, if I want something, I don't take no for an answer. That's just who I am generally, not just about my career life. It's just my personality. And like Chisom mentioned earlier on about the fact that the kind of people you roll with, the kind of friends you have too at the same time, can either make you or destroy you. It's as simple as that. And if you have people that think low, that's how you're going to think, literally. If you have people that think here, you're going to be high. It's as simple as that. So in terms of getting into the industry, I studied information technology. So I've always been in that, IT space. And then during NYC, I had to post people to schools to go and teach and things like that. I knew that is not what I wanted for myself. So when I came back to Nigeria to do NYC, before I even went to camp, I was already looking for a job. So I got a request letter from the company that I got a job from. So when I went to NYC camp, I was in camp, and then I met this lady whom I spoke to that had a letter, and she was like, oh yeah, they can post me to that same company, because I didn't know so much about how NYC, worked. Now, I started working at that company. I started as a system administrator, not even in cybersecurity, but that really built me a whole lot. And which is the need where I say, if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, or not just cybersecurity, change career or transition career, the best place for you to actually switch from is your current place of job if you're working already. So that was where I started as a cloud security engineer. So I worked as a sysadmin for a year plus, and then I approached someone and I told him that because I learned Pocket Tracer when I was in school. I did information technology. I learned basics of IT. If you did IT, you would know that they touch base with. I did Java. I did C++, I did PHP, I did so many things. So it's like my brain was everywhere. I didn't know what I wanted at that time. But lucky for me, I started as a sysadmin. But at the same time, I had interned as a software developer. I was doing projects on the side. That was my side hustle. Aside the fact that I was working, I was writing back-end services. I had some software engineering friends where we had like a side project where we were building an application. So I approached this guy at the company I was working at that time and told him the kind of things I could do aside the sysadmin work. And he was like, you know what? We're actually looking at hiring an internal cloud security engineer. The guy then was a DevSecOps guy. And he was like, let's give you a try. He started teaching me some few things here and there. Now, I started learning. I already had plans that I was going to leave Lagos after my NYC. But unfortunately, I stayed longer than I expected. And then, thank God for COVID too at the same time. During that COVID, when they did the lockdown thing, I was still serving during my NYC at that time. I did some training in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Then it was free. I didn't pay for the certifications. I saw it on, was it on? No, I didn't see it. A friend of mine actually sent it to me, which is why I say the kind of people you roll with also matters. Now, I started applying for jobs again after I got the cloud security role in that company. The pay was not so great. It was just average for me. But I know if I wanted something more, I needed to leave that place, right? So I started applying for jobs. I got so many rejections. I was not so good at that time, even on LinkedIn. I didn't know how LinkedIn, functioned so properly. I didn't know LinkedIn was the real deal at that time compared to now. LinkedIn was a place you could make so much connection, even till now at the same time. But people don't actually utilize it as much as they could. The rejections, unfortunately, it was uncountable. So that is why I said I don't keep track of negativity. But at the same time, even with the unfortunately, there was never a time that I thought of, you know what, I wanted to give up. There's something I've always told myself as a little girl, or my mom used to tell me, that person that carried face, does that person have two heads? Do you get it? So it's like something will play around in my house. We even tell my mom, when something happens, I would use the same thing and I would tell my mom and we'll laugh about it. So I keep telling myself that particular word, even till date. This person that have this thing, person does not have two heads. Do you get it? If the person is smarter than you, there are skills you have that that person too does not also have. When I mean smarter, maybe technical wise, they might be better than you, but soft skill wise, you might also be better than them. So in terms of applying, I apply uncountably. My first role was connection. It's as simple as that, because I took the right steps. From the guy I had spoke about that I talked to in my previous organization, now, he's now based in Canada. And I worked for the company briefly. I did my master's in the UK and I was working 20 hours weekly for that particular company, even though it was something that I never expected happen. I had so many friends who at the same time as at that time that was doing care jobs, and they were like, yeah, you have to do this job if you want to survive in this place, so if you want to get sponsorship. But before I went to the UK, I knew within me that I cannot claim bomb. There's nothing wrong with it. But I genuinely feel like you should have the heart for it. I don't know. I've not finished cleaning my own. It's somebody's own that I want to. I cannot even clean my sister's. Do you get it? But I had a friend. She loved the job. She would tell me she can even clean my bonbon, and we would laugh about it. So that's what I mean by you should have the kind of heart that could handle some certain things. I felt like maybe I couldn't do something like that, not because I'm better than those doing it. No, it's just because I feel like I might not do it as good as someone else would do it because my heart is not in that place. So I got that particular job through that connection because I sent him a message randomly on LinkedIn that I was now in the UK and things like that, even though I had taken educationally. And he asked me, are you still being paid in Naira? I told him yes. And he's like, there's this consulting firm and the kind of skills you have, they might actually require it. Would you be open to having an interview? And I told the guy, yes. Now this time around, this interview was different from the kind of interview that I had in Nigeria. So that was when, I had to go and do research. So I now asked him if there are any possible questions or the way for me to prepare. I even had to code in that particular interview. My previous job, I didn't have to go through that, process. Yeah. Well, I did. And it took them over 5 days for them to get back to me. I went through the three different stages of this interview. And that guy that actually linked me up to the organization was not in the interview. He doesn't even work with them, but he knew someone that had mentioned such role to him, and he's like, he knows a girl that actually has this experience. And after the interview, I waited for over 5 days. I was also worried because at the same time, I needed a job. So, and I got that email. Bear in mind that before this job, I had applied for so many jobs too at the same time that I did interviews, then even up to the last stage of interviews that I was so like happy that, I did so well in this interview. I'm going to hear something positive from them. But, they have their own mind. At the last minute, I would hear something different from what I was expecting. Do you get it? Now, I did that job, and later on, I knew I wanted something slightly higher. I did a little bit of contract roles that I actually don't mention because they were on contract basis too at the same time, and I was paid very well. And when I started that job, I had friends now, they were not asking me, how did you do it? How did you do it? These were the same set of people that was telling me, by the way, that if you want to survive in this UK, you have to do this kind of job, you have to do this care job, because it's very common in the UK actually, especially for students. So that my friend, one of them that I had asked about work, I later introduced him to cybersecurity because he was running a program at that time that he didn't have so much.
Sorry, Miriam. So not to cut you short, but because of time, so we can move on to the other people also. So can you just, wrap up this? Because I have 2 more questions for you. Yeah.
Okay. So now the point is, at the end of the day, right? Do not follow crowd. You are unique in your own way. You get it? And I feel for us women, to be fair, even though we have a lot to prove to people when it comes to this part of, career, it's like we have to sell ourselves 2 times compared to a man because they would think, oh, she's a woman. She wouldn't, they see us as soft. Do you get it? But at the same time, I've seen women that are actually strong and even do the job way better than the way you would actually think. Now, also try not to compare yourself or your journey with that of other people because you're unique and you are different. And taking no for an answer is not it. If I can do it, you can even do way better than I can do. Trust me. Do you get it? We are not the same. You are unique, and learn to sell yourself. Learn to sell your skills. If you have it, brag about it. And one of the things I see that, some of us tend to look at is, sorry.
You have 2 more questions, and it's looking like you've answered the last one. Is this your last answer?
Okay, fine. I'll let you go ahead.
I'll come back to you.
Okay,
Yes, I'll come back to you. Don't worry. Thank you very much, Miriam. That was honestly very beautiful, and it's so nice hearing from you and learning about your journey, your experience, and how you were able to, survive in the tech space itself. So I'll move on to Okoyemi right now. So Miriam, like I said, I'm coming back to you, so I can only pin 3 people at a time. So thank you all so much. You guys, everybody on this call, honestly, you guys are absolute stars. Why am I saying this? We're on 80 earlier, and we are currently 100 plus. You guys, thank you so much for obliging me. I know that you guys are also helping reach out to your colleagues to join us, while my colleagues are also driving this to get people to join us. Again, this conversation, even though it's for IWD in commemoration of the Women's Month, it's still a conversation that will benefit every gender. And even my gift does not recognize gender. It's for everybody. So please stick around. I have a gift for you, like I said. So now I'll move on to Okoyemi. Now, why I really, really love, and Okoyemi, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your time. We appreciate you saying yes to our invite. It means a lot. I think that's Halima, your friend. Halima, I heard about you. So I think that's Halima. So yes, thank you so much. So Okoyemi, I would like to ask, by the way, my colleague introduced Okoyemi earlier as one of our interns at Andari as at last year. She joined around IWD period, correct, Okoyemi?
Yes.
And Okoyemi secured a job around 2-3 months into the internship. Am I right? Right. Yes. So you see, every advice you've heard so far, or every process and step you've heard so far from Chisom's story and journey, from Itunu's experience, and from the narration that Miriam explained, it's one that everybody's familiar with. And Okoyemi found herself in that spot also. And somebody said something, I think that was Itunu. She said something about portfolios. Okoyemi used Amdari to build her own portfolio. Itunu said something also about working with deadlines. Okoyemi worked in a team, and she had people she reported to. And that came with working with deadlines and everything in between. So my question to Okoyemi is very straightforward, right? So Okoyemi, please, because of time, so that you don't take too much time. So when you first joined Amdari, right? What stage were you in your career, and what made you realize you needed practical experience to move forward or to level up or to even compete in the space?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. Appreciate this opportunity. Okay. A little bit. It's my journey to Amdari, and I came to UK for my masters. Hope you can hear me very well.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I came to UK for my masters. So I did my master's in data science and analytics from the University of Oxford. And I came out with distinction, You feel like you get a job immediately after that. But I started sending out my CV. And at the end of the day, I don't even get, unfortunately, that rejection mail, I don't get at all. It was as if there was no response. And I was saying to myself, there's something missing. There's something missing that a gap I need to fill. I think towards early last year, I saw Amdari, and then like other trainings that you see online, I was like, okay, but there's something different about Amdari internship. I was like, okay, this is something that I need, because in UK here, your experience matters to them than your certificate. So if you don't have UK experience, it's always difficult to get a job. So I said to myself, okay, this is internship program. And I tried to look for someone that has done the program that I can talk to, but I didn't find any, so I just left it. I joined another training. But towards this time last year, yes, about this time last year, I joined a session like this. And I saw that, there was a promo going on for International Women's Day in Amdari. So I joined, and then they were like, okay, you can pay in 3 installments. I was okay, let me try this. If I try for the first installment and I don't get what I want, then I'm going to leave. But I didn't join alone. I called my friend, let's try this place and see how it will be. But I tell you, from the onboarding, I just discovered that no, this is different. This answers the questions in my heart. This actually gives me a sense of all I've been looking for, everything that I've always wanted. Starting from the task, the projects we work on, talking about the mentorship session, especially, it was the icing on the cake for me at Amdari. The LinkedIn optimization, CV optimization, everything about Amdari just clicked for me, checked my boxes. And at the end of the day, I was able to get a job even before I finished my Amdari program. So to me, I say to myself and everybody that I speak with that, to me, Amdari is like a confidence booster. More than the skills I have, Amdari actually boosted my confidence to go out there and showcase my skills and get what I deserve.
Thank you so much, Okoyemi. Thank you so much. Before I say anything on all Okoyemi said, everybody needs a friend like Halimat. So Halimat is Okoyemi's friend, and this is just a great definition of women supporting women. Halimat joined this session just to support Okoyemi. And I guess Halimat is the person you joined the program with, correct?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Halima, you've gotten a job also, right? Just give me a thumbs up. Am I right, Halima? Halima is not giving me thumbs up. Halima is laughing. But not yet. Okay, it's coming. It's coming. So yes, it's great to have you on the call also, Halima. And thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, that was great. We're very, very grateful that you took that chance, leap of faith with Amdari, gave Amdari the chance. Let me go and verify all that Amdari is saying. Is it true? But I'm glad that you actually got exactly what you were looking for. Amazing. And of course, that was a job. So thank you very much. So second segment. So it's looking like I'm skipping the second segment. I'm moving to the third because the last one will just be more like a wrapping up, right? I don't want to take you guys time. You guys have been so gracious. You guys have joined this conversation. You guys are so good. So the best I can do is not to make it too lengthy, even though, like I said earlier, it is going to be very, very inspirational for you and give you practical guide on what you need to do. And one thing I always say about an Abdari session is it's not about addressing the problem, it's about showing you the solution right there. This is an established problem. We know this exists. In fact, you're here because you've identified it. So what next, right? So that's why we're here. So and again, I've not forgotten. I said I'm going to do big, so I am definitely going to do that. So let's move on to my next question. So this one is on what changed the game for you, right? And the question will go around to everybody. So I'll start with Itunu. So Itunu, for you, what was the breakthrough moment that helped you land your first tech role? What would you say that breakthrough moment is? So share with us, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I wanted to emphasize on what Chiso mentioned, and I think Miriam also mentioned that your circle of friends really matters. Like, it matters a lot. A lot of the things that I've, secured, it was because I had a friend that, So I'm going to talk about the breakthrough moments, so I don't have to All right. So for me, the breakthrough moments was when I spoke to one of my friends. I've gotten a lot of rejections, and too many rejections. At some point, I lost track, and it was as though these organizations had a meeting to just send me rejections on a Monday morning. I got a lot. I got all the I can apply this week, and then next week Monday I'm getting all the rejections from all the organizations. So I'm like, what's going on? At some point I had to say I'm not going to miss church on Sunday so that I don't get rejections on Monday. So yeah, I mean, it was that bad. So I kept, I think one of the things that changed in terms of rejection was that I started telling myself that I'm going to try one more time. It might not make sense, but it did something to me. When I tell myself, oh, I'm going to try one more time, it made me see rejection as normal, I started seeing it as normal. I got used to it, right? So I had there was a conference that happened in 2021. I spoke about this on my Instagram. I know you someone have seen this. Yeah, in 2021, where I attended the conference, and the rejections had become so much that I started having self-doubt, started doubting my capabilities and all of that. I had what it took, but rejections, I started to settle. I started to wallow in the rejections, such that I got to that conference day one. It was a 3-day event, and the first day went by. I spoke to a lot of recruiters at the event. Second day, I spoke to a lot of them, but there was this particular organization that I really admire. They're really very big, Accenture. They're so big, and I just walked past with my avatar. It was a virtual event. I just walked past their booths, right? And then on the evening of the second day, I spoke to one of my friends in Arizona, and I was like, why did I not approach them? Apparently, you already got the offer. So we spoke, and was like, why did I not talk to them? And I was like, I don't even know why I didn't talk to them. And then after that call, it was as if my brain had a reset. Because I started asking myself, why did I not approach them, right? Why was I disqualifying myself before, they even had the chance to disqualify me, right? So that night, I started researching about the organization. I started, researching the roles that were opened and try to see how I can tie, that role into, what I've done previously and all of that. And then the third day, which was the final day, I was the first person at that conference. Like I said, it was a virtual event, so it was just I logged in at I think 6 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't see anybody, but I was just walking around my avatar, and then I just stood at that booth waiting for everyone to arrive, and then the recruiter met me in the booth, and we introduced ourselves, and she encouraged me to apply, and that was it. That was how I got my first offer in the US. She encouraged me to apply, and that same night I got an assessment. I think I finished it the next day or thereabouts, and that was how I kept moving from each stage to the next stage to the next stage until I landed that offer. So who almost stopped me? It was me. So I mean, that was the things that changed. I stopped disqualifying myself. I stopped, when rejections become too much, you start wallowing in self-doubt. Like you start doubting, can I even do this? Do they even want me? You want to be careful not to, sit down too much in rejection. You want to keep moving, like try one more time. I don't know if that makes sense now, right? But like keep trying one more time. Yeah. I think that was like the breakthrough moment for me. And that was how I landed my first role in the US.
Thank you so, so much. Like I said, inspirational, guys. So do not disqualify yourself before the disqualification even comes, right? She highlighted, right? She's always the one thinking, am I good enough for this? Am I qualified enough for this? But lo and behold, she got it. The rejections will come and it's normal, right? But you giving up is the abnormal part. You stopping and like she said again, try one more time. After every time, after every try one more time. Don't say rejection is too much, you're giving up. How do they say this thing again in PG? Now who give up, fuck up or something like that. So please don't fuck up, don't give up, okay? Give it a try one more time. And I hope that the conversation today is not going to be you going back to doing the same thing that you've been doing before. Try something different, be strategic in your application, right? And make sure you take the right step. Make sure, like it's been established. Itunu said it, Chisom said it, Miriam said it. Information, the kind of information you have, the kind of people you roll with, the kind of resources they share with you, and yeah, the kind of information you get is what's going to determine how far you go, how you grow, and also how you thrive or compete. Which is why, again, I really like the friendship that Okwemi and Halima have. They share information with each other, and that's why you see how it played out in somebody's story here. So I'll move on to Chisom right now, and for Chisom and everyone on this call, please, you are all part of the conversation. I would like you to type in your questions but if you would prefer to just speak, that's fine. I'll only take 2 questions again because of time. So I'm asking my last batch of the question right now. So once I ask Chisom, I ask Miriam, and then I ask Okwemi, that will be all. Then I will take about 2 questions so that they can respond to it. Okay. Miriam, oh my God. That's so you guys, I'll take your questions. That's okay. If anybody wants to type something in the chat, I would also read it. But I'll take Miriam, right? But not now. Let me just finish with this round of my question and then you would get an opportunity to ask. But like I said, thank you all so much for sticking around. You guys are the real MVPs, okay? So my question to you right now is, were there specific experiences, projects, internships that helped strengthen your profile and helped you stand out amongst other candidates? Now, the reason I skipped my second question, it was supposed to be around networking, and I feel like you answered it perfectly while responding to the first one. So for this one now, let's talk about projects. Let's talk about the kind of access you got, the opportunity. Was it internship? What exactly played a key role in you securing your first tech role?
Okay, thank you for the question. When you asked that question, I was thinking about my own story, and honestly, I work in Dell right now, but before even working in Dell, I think there were multiple breakthrough moments for me. So I'm just gonna talk about those briefly because I think that they would help someone here as well. Then I would then say how I got into my Dell role, right? So the first one was when I got into Ireland, one of the things that you're supposed to do as a student, like in your final year or your final semester is your thesis, right? Like every other university. And I studied fintech. And one of the things you are supposed to work with a company, or maybe not necessarily working with a company, have like a case study in whatever thesis that you're working on. So what I wanted to do at the time was really just have a company that I worked with. I researched companies and then found a company eventually to try to see if I could get data from them and to be the basis of my thesis. Eventually, it didn't work out the way I wanted it with that specific company. But what happened after the conversation with them, based on my thesis, was right after my master's degree, I got a job with them. And it wasn't even like a paid job, it was honestly volunteering, but it gave me a title that was very critical for my CV and would eventually lay the foundation for every other thing I would do going forward. I was a diversity analyst, which is pretty much a data analyst for them. And I worked with them as a data analyst to released the first fintech report at that time, right? I worked after I volunteered for a while, I then moved on to doing a paid role for a couple of months with them. So that really formed a very good foundation for me. And that was because I networked when I was a student and then got that role. After that role, one of my friends, I was also trying to work in like a fintech, in an actual fintech company. I was doing like a customer service job, but I didn't like it, right? And one of my friends who was leaving a role in a fintech company was looking for someone to refer. Because I had fintech experience, I was the perfect person for the job. Because the company I had worked for before was fintech, so it just made sense. So she reviewed my CV with me and referred me for that role. And because she was also a good candidate in the role, it was almost a no-brainer that I was going to get the role. I eventually got the opportunity and stayed with the company for 1 year, right? And that's where networking comes in, and really just taking opportunities, even if it's volunteering from the beginning, came into my story, right? After I stayed in that role for a year, I then interviewed with Dell. I think one of the things I think is important to mention is the fact that upon getting into Ireland, the experience that I wanted in my career, I knew that I did not have expert level experience yet. So from the get-go, I wanted the graduate role that would give me structural learning from the very beginning. That was one thing I was set on. A lot of my friends were applying for higher jobs, but I knew from the beginning that I wanted the graduate role because that was the type of formation I was looking for when it came to like building my career. And I knew that it was only a graduate role that was going to give it to me. So I was applying for a lot of graduate roles. I got a couple of rejections, but eventually when I got an opportunity to apply for Dell, the seed was planted about Dell in the first company that I had worked with. So Dell was one of the partners the role that I did a diversity analyst for. Dell was one of the partners there. And that was how I even knew about like, okay, Dell, that's also a reasonable company. And they were very big on women being in their spaces and things like that. I then go on to apply for Dell. At the time, one of the things that they were looking for in their graduate roles were like people who were big on tech and things like that. And the role that I had done as a diversity analyst played a role in bringing me in, right? So when I went for the interview, what they were most impressed by, and I say this with confidence because I don't think any other person on the panel or any other interviewee, any other person that they were interviewing did it. What they were most impressed with was my Tableau portfolio. So I went into that interview with a Tableau. It wasn't something that they asked for. So the question they asked was, so do you have any other thing to tell us? And then I said, yes, I have, I'm a Tableau developer. And then I opened my Tableau portfolio online and showed them all the things that I had done. And these were projects that I had done by myself. I would literally just go online on Twitter because Tableau has a big portfolio, they have a big community on Twitter, right? So I would go online, find data on Twitter, and really just analyze it and put it on Tableau portfolio. And that was the game changer for them. You'll be surprised I actually did not get the job. I actually did not. They actually after they saw my Tableau portfolio, they rejected me on my birthday, in fact. But 9 months down the line, the person that was hiring in that role, she was going to leave the company. And then she said, they messaged me and said, the lady wants to leave, but she cannot leave without hiring me. And that was how and I'm at the first time they had like 5 interview stages, and I'm like, I'm not doing the amount of interview stages anymore. At this point, I could call my shots because I had more experience anyway, right? So I told them I wasn't doing the amount of interviews they did, and then this was the salary I was asking for. They said I was going to do another quick interview, and I showed them my Tableau portfolio again and some of the new projects that I had done. I think that was actually what left a lasting impression on them to even want to call me back. And after the lady hired me, she left the company. So every time when people ask me what do they need to do today, I think it's important to go out of your comfort zone. You cannot do traditional things to get the job that you want. Unfortunately, even with AI, I think you cannot do traditional things. You have to find creative ways of applying for jobs in today's world. I don't know what those creative ways would be, but that's where you need to do the work. Your portfolio is so important, but it is that people don't want to do the work to build those portfolios, which is where that's where the problem is, because companies want to see that you can do the work. A lot of these entry level roles that we're seeing today, AI is taking over them. Nobody knows what graduate roles will look like in the near future. So I think it's important that everyone sits and think, based on whatever career path that you're in, what is that thing that I can do that nobody has thought of, or even if someone has thought of, like, that would help me stand out in the interview, right? And I find out later on that the only reason why I didn't get hired was because the people I was interviewing with, two of them had entered with Dell before, and one of them, his dad was in the company. So it just made sense. I would hire them as well, right? And me, I had no chance against it. So sometimes those rejections are not necessarily because you're not a good fit. It might just be a timing matter, or like something different, right? But I don't think the traditional ways of applying for jobs today will work. And honestly, more and more emphasis, because we're in an AI era and you just need to do things differently and strategically. Yeah.
Thank you so okay. Thank you so much, Chisom, for that. Chisom said a lot of things. I was like picking some things I want to lay emphasis on, but then she says more, and then she says more, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm losing track of what I'm losing track already. But one thing I still remember some, don't mind me. So she said something about needing a proof that she has done it before on her CV, which is just the title to be somewhere. I always say something. When you apply to a job, your CV is meant to answer two questions. Have you taken the course, and have you done this before? The course, I'm saying that you've taken it, is highlighted under maybe your professional certifications, your skills, the tools you've learned. It is highlighted there. That's how you're able to answer that with your CV. Then, have you done this before? Because before I speak to you, before I hire you, I need to know if you're the candidate that I need to speak to. Are you qualified? And my way of shortlisting qualified candidates is, have you done it before, and have you taken the course? You've taken the course, I can skill needed something to use on her CV that says she has played a role in this capacity before, right? It's very important. And that's why we always, and she said eventually what she used was the volunteer work that she did, because she just needed to have something there. And she said another thing about looking for creative ways to be the right fit and the right candidate, and also creative ways to apply. Honestly, that's everything that Amdari helps with in terms of creative ways to apply. I always say something. People who enroll in Amdari are typically intelligent job seekers, because there is no way you would not learn to apply the right way, the strategic way, because it's no longer straightforward. It's a maze right now. As a developer, I said earlier that I started my career as a website developer. Back then, just create one, calculator project. You can easily get a job. But right now, that does not work. You need to show that you even know how to integrate front end with back end. As a front end developer, do you understand endpoints? Do you understand APIs? All of that. Before, you don't need all of that mathematics, to be honest. Just know how to build one dummy landing page. You don't even know what the logic is going to be like back end wise. Just that's all they would hire you. But right now, that's no longer the case. It is very competitive. So you need to be a candidate that stands out. She said something about standing out also. So again, this conversation is not just for us to aspire to Maguire and say all of that. You need to implement all of the things you're hearing from them. It's not magic. It's just doing the work. She said something also. She said, you need to be willing to do what majority of the people are not doing. And I always say the bar is not that high, because most people are very comfortable. It's not that, it's very low. And if you just do
very
that,
low.
Very low, you just need to do a little bit more. And honestly, you'll be surprised. You're wondering, oh my God, so all I needed was just this, all I needed was just that. Yes, what you need is a solid portfolio and proof that you can get the job done. So thank you so much, Chisom. That was amazing. And like you said before you started speaking, that it might help somebody. So please give me thumbs up if you feel like that's helpful. Give me thumbs up. Let me see that you guys are here with me. Well, I was seeing the thumbs up while she was speaking, but I just want to know that you guys are here with me. So thank you all so much. And again, you guys are stars because I can see that you all are paying rapt attention and you guys are still here with us. So thank you so much. So I'll move on to Miriam now. My mind is telling me that I'm supposed to time Miriam. Do I need to give you a timer? Miriam, don't mind me. So yeah, my question to you, Miriam, is going to be on the mindset shift. And I'm particular about mindset shift because mindset plays a role in how much we grow, how far we grow, and the kind of things that we expose ourselves to. I love to say, honestly, anywhere you find yourself, do not major in the minor things. You have to major in those things that move the needle. So even if it's at work, do not major in the minor things at work. Major in those major things because that's the only way you can show that you have a lot to offer. So when it comes to job application also, don't do those tiny things. It's not going to give you results, right? So for Miriam now, talking about mindset. So what's that mindset shift that helped you succeed in your career?
Thank you for the question. When it comes to mindset, I would say understand, like I said earlier on, that you're different from every other person. Everyone is unique in their special way. And knowing what you want is also an important part. Do you get it? And not taking no for an answer. Because I would say when it comes to rejections, it's normal. I know it's discouraging. It could affect even your self-esteem too at the same time. But like I said, you're not the only one they're sending that rejection to. There's another of you. You get it? And maybe that time you want to say, I'm tired, let me just leave it. You don't know if it's that time your breakthrough is going to come. So having the mindset of saying that this is what I want, even though this one does not click, I can also try this other place is an important part. Do you get it? And coming from, an immigrant too at the same time, I understand how tough it can be when you're thinking about the fact that there are other people, trying to get in. You would also consider your accents too at the same time. Maybe you're not speaking or telling them what they want to also hear. You're Nigerian, first of all, you're Ghanaian, you're Asian. Everyone has an accent. And having that confidence, that straight mindset and saying, this is who I am and owning it is an important part. So I would say, knowing what you want and also not giving up and being able to stand out amongst others also plays an important role. Apart from the fact that people, focus so much on technical skills, and as much as I would like to think that I know a lot, your soft skill at the same time also matters. That was the mindset that also helped me drastically. I could talk about cybersecurity or tech all day because I've had like diverse experience, and I currently work with a global organization where I work with people that have over 35 years of experience. I'm probably the youngest in my team. At the same time, I understand the need for soft skill too at the same time. I learned this later on, not immediately. And I understand the fact that I am special, I'm intelligent, I am smart, and as such, they are interested in you. That is why they are looking for somebody to hire. That role is open. So understanding the fact that they need someone for that role and understanding what they actually require and understanding the fact that even though you have the technical skills that role needs, do you also have the soft skill, the behavioral skills that role needs? Is another mindset for you to understand that you need to give that part of you. Some people are very stiff. So being soft when it comes to communication, this shows you can work with other people, no matter the background they come from.
Thank you very, very much, Mira. That was very well. Soft skills, and so I love what she said about soft skills. And then she said something else about these companies needing soft skills are important, but you cannot develop soft skills when you are working alone or in isolation. It's not possible. That's where working in teams comes into the picture. But then when we say working in teams, you're like, oh, me, I said I've not gotten a job. You're talking about working in teams. Where do I get a team? Chisom said something about volunteering. I said something about the internship program at Amdari. The internship program at Amdari, you don't work alone. You work with people. You work with You work in teams, let me put it that way. And you have a team lead and mentor that works with you Mondays to Fridays. That's how that works. She said something else. So yes, soft skills cannot be developed. How do you want to say I'm somebody that communicates so well? Who did you communicate with while working in isolation? Nobody, right? Oh, I am good with time management. Was there really a deadline? You were just a one-man team. It was just you. You weren't reporting to anybody. There was no actual business problem being solved. So who was, after you delivering on time? Nobody, right? So you can't develop those soft skills if you work alone or in isolation. She now said another thing about these companies needing you. And I say this all the time. You are meant to apply to a job like somebody who is coming to provide or prefer solution. There is a reason why you are needed in that capacity. I saw a post by Forbes yesterday, and the founder said something. It was a quote from a founder, and said something about being smart, being a smart founder, but needing smarter people to work with. Now, for you to be that smart person, you need to meet them at the point of their need. There is a standard, there is an expectation, right? Which Miriam also mentioned. What's the requirement? You need to meet that requirement. And what I said earlier about the bar being very low. Not a lot of people are really stretching themselves or doing anything extra. Everybody's just comfortable. Let me just tick the box. Let me just, I'm taking the course. Let me start applying to jobs. It's not going to help. Taking a course, applying immediately will just give you more rejections after rejections. What is going to help you build the soft skill, build the portfolio is in the kind of work you've done, the team you've worked with. So the last question for this roundtable, before we move on to taking Miriam's question, and okay, the other Miriam has dropped her hand. You're giving way to Nancy, so that's okay. So the last question is going to be for Okoyemi. Hi, Okoyemi. Okay, let me just pin Okoyemi. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, hi. So, Okoyemi, in your case, what are the projects you would say you worked on while interning at Andari that helped you ace your interview, that helped you come across as super convincing to these recruiters, right? So what are those projects that you worked on, or what aspect of your internship would you say played a key role?
Okay, concerning the projects I worked with while at Andari, I worked on different projects. I think the first one was on customer segmentation, customer retention, and customer churn. I would say this project is a one that applies to all industries because all organizations work with customers and they are so concerned about retaining their customers. So it is one of the projects that actually got me my job. Then apart from that, I worked on RAG, retrieval augmentation. I also worked on AI chatbots. I worked on forecasting, energy forecasting. I worked on different projects that has to do with different industries. I remember also doing something on breast cancer. Breast is pathology. So I did different projects that even gave me confidence that no matter the industry out there, I am ready for it. Then another aspect of it was the mentorship sessions. Seriously, it was the icing on the cake for me at Amdari. Because before I got to Amdari, when you see the job descriptions at times, you look at them and you feel like, do I have this? But after going through Amdari and having done all those projects, I discovered that, oh, I already have all these things they are requesting for. And then I remember one of the sessions when we were told that you don't have to wait to have everything there. Even once you meet up to 60% of the job requirements, you can go ahead and apply for it. And another aspect of it is the optimizing your CV and your LinkedIn optimization, putting yourself out there, showcasing what you have done. All this together with the projects I've done that I did while at Dari actually gave me confidence to go for this my present post, my present job as InPost. So the job itself, when I got the job, sorry, I'm losing myself actually. When I applied for the role, it was at the point when I felt I've done so many applications, I am tired, I don't want to apply any longer. And because I was on post-study visa at that time, I will apply, and then I'll get calls from recruiters, and the next thing will be, after a series of interviews, they will ask me, what is your status? And once they hear you're on post-study, that will be the end of it. But when I applied for this, I just applied like, okay, I did data, I'm actually a data scientist, and this is a data analyst role. I remember one of the mentorship session when Efemina said, just apply for that job. Get your feet at the door first. So when I saw this particular, I was just like, the same thing will happen. They will tell me, you don't have this, you are on post-study, you're not going to get. So I just send my CV to them. And not up to 2 hours, the recruiter called me. She was like, oh, she was asking me questions about customer segmentation, which was the first project I did with Samdari. And I was able to explain and all that. And she was like, she was so impressed and she said she's going to send my CV to the organization. And before I know it, the next day I was scheduled for interview. And after the interview, not up to 3 days, I got my offer letter for this role. And it shows that you don't just look that on yourself. Once you have the skill, you have all it takes, you have the job requirement. Even if you don't have everything, just put your feet at the door, apply for that role, have confidence in yourself. People are doing it, then you also can do it. And Amdari, like I said, is a confidence booster. Everything you need. Amdari gave me the confidence that I can do it, and I'm doing it. Sincerely, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Operemi. Thank you. And that is a confidence booster. So you guys, trust me. And the confidence comes from knowing that you have the knowledge now, knowing that you are prepared, right? Knowing that if the opportunity comes, you have what it takes to defend everything you've done. And I'm so glad that it worked out so well for Operemi. Thank you so much, Operemi, for sharing that with us. We definitely appreciate your time on the call today. And thank you, Adina, also. So I'll take a question from Miriam. Hi, Miriam.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, hi, Miriam. So you can go on with your question, please.
Is it me or the other Miriam?
Oh no, not Miriam. No, not you. The Miriam, that's the Onipade Miriam. Hi,
Okay.
Miriam, are you here? Hi, Miriam.
Okay. Oh, hi. I just figured out how to turn on my microphone. Thank you for this session, to all the wonderful ladies. Actually, I don't even know how I found myself here, right? I don't. I usually apply to a lot of things online, so I just found myself here, right? So I'm right now with data 10 analytics. I'm doing a program with 10 analytics. Maybe that's how come I got this. And I know when I joined the webinar, they said we're going to be doing internship with Amdari. So yeah, so if you permit me, I just have just two very straightforward questions. So what is Amdari? Is Amdari just an organization that just does internship and offers people who want to break into the tech space into sort of like experience? Is that what Amdari does? That's my first question. And then secondly, I think this question is for, again, also on for Amdari. Oh no, I think this question is for Chisom. So in trying to break into the tech space, does anything like overqualification, does it exist? Has any of you come in contact with you not getting into roles because you think you're overqualified and you're applying for probably a lesser just 1 minute, and you're applying for kind of like a lesser role or something? So those are I have more, but because of time, I'll just like if you guys could just touch up on those two questions a little bit. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. So I think I'd allow Chisom to respond first, then I'll answer your first question. Hi, Chisom.
Yeah, that's actually a very good question, to be honest. I personally was not overqualified for the roles that I applied for, But I definitely think, and I might be wrong with my statement, I think there is something called overqualification, right? Particularly because I saw people who found it difficult to get roles, mostly because, let's say, situation, for example, I had a classmate who had worked like 25 years in a bank as a bank manager and things like that, and in Nigeria, and then she came into Ireland and she found it very difficult to get a job. In that kind of situation, I think your strategy needs to be very, very different. You need to be more strategic and more intentional in terms of how you apply for the roles that you apply for, right? But it took her a while to get a job, but eventually she did. But I definitely think that there's overqualification, but you just need to know how to begin to position yourself to actually get the roles, particularly when overqualification comes into play when you're coming from a country and you don't have the country experience that they need. In that type of situation, I think it's important to switch up some of the experiences that you have. Try to see if there are places where you can volunteer in the country that you are in, so that you have experience based in that country, and then let go of some older roles that you've done in your country of origin. Right? Yeah. So the more recent roles that you have done within, let's say for this lady now, she did more like customer service roles in Ireland. So those ones were at the top of her CV. So even if she had like the hard skills, the soft skills, she did not have prior to getting those roles because she had been in Nigeria for so long. But then when she worked with like customer service roles or some lower roles, what it did for her was it gave her things like working with the culture or knowing how to relate with them and things like that. I think that there's definitely something called, just to answer your question very straight, but it's not impossible to get a job. You just need to be very intentional and very strategic. The way you would apply is not the same way someone who is looking for a graduate would apply. So you have two different situations, and yeah.
Thank you very much, Chisom. So does that answer your question, Miriam?
Oh yes, yes, it does. It does, and in a way it does. But actually, my overqualification is based on like actual academic qualifications, right? So it's I don't know if anybody here has done a PhD or something, but even at the PhD level, it's becoming very, very, very difficult to land a job, right? So it's just I don't even know what the issue is right now
I
for me.
think the thing with
Yeah.
PhDs, the thing with PhDs, even if it might not necessarily be overqualification, but you cannot expect what's happening with PhD. You cannot expect them to pay you, particularly if you don't have any job experience, you cannot expect them to pay you a significant amount based on your qualification when you don't have as much job experience, right? So at the end of the what the workplace is looking for is experience. So even if you have a PhD, unless you are doing like a researcher job, which is where your PhD comes into play very well, you would not expect like a Dell to pay you the same amount that's a very significant amount that competes with your PhD when you don't have the experience that they're looking for. To be honest, I really feel like someone who graduates with a PhD and someone who graduates with a master's and they want to enter the same tech industry, you would really be getting the same salary. I don't think the job industry rewards a PhD. But if you're in academia, that's a completely different situation. You would get compensation for having a PhD, but not in the corporate space as much, except you're in the research aspect. If you're in AI research or something, then that's different. But in tech or in just that space, you might not get the compensation that would compete with your PhD essentially. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Chisom. Thank you very much. Just a minute, please. Yes, yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Chisom, for that beautiful response. So, to answer your first question, Miriam, now I love to call it a career accelerator platform because where the job of a traditional edtech ends, that's where that of Amdari starts. So we are actually bridging the gap between learning and landing the job. Now, Chisom said something about experience and the fact that the tech industry does not really prioritize certificates or certifications. It prioritizes your experience. So experience pretty much trumps certificates, certification. These companies just care about if you can do the job or not. And the only way you can prove that to them is when you have a portfolio that backs up your claim of what you can do, what you've done, and for you to prove it to them. Again, from the stories that we've heard so far. So Amdari helps you gain real world experience in all of the career paths that are in tech, majorly data science, data analytics, data engineering, business analysis, project management, product design, DevOps, app and cloud security. I know I'm leaving some out, cyber security. So we break that down into areas of specializations like SOC, GRC, penetration testing, and ethical hacking, as well as I mentioned app and cloud security already. So we help you gain real world experience. Now, how that works is you work directly under Amdari, but we have projects from our project partners, and these partners are startups across the UK, US, and Canada. Chisom said something earlier about trying to get internship with a company, like just to even be able to add it to her thesis, right? But it didn't quite work out. Now, we understand that people looking for internship placement, trying to get opportunities to even gain experience, it's very hard to get. So when we started Amdari, it used to be us placing people on internship. But these companies would either say, oh, we can't take, they have said they will take 5 people. They come back to saying they can take 1. They had said they would take 3. They come back to saying they can't take any. To them, it sounds like numbers. To us, it's me coming to this call and saying, okay, they picked Elizabeth before, they picked Salwa, they picked Bolatito, 3 people. Now I'm coming back to say they are only going to work with 1 person. So Bolatito is the only person that can proceed with them. So what happens to the other people? So it wasn't really a sustainable model. So we had to switch it up. So you intern directly under Amdari, or we get our projects from these companies. So you would have a team lead and you work in a team. And your project would be across different industries: healthcare, fintech, logistics and supply chain, FMCG, just to mention a few. And so it's a 4-month internship, and you work on 5 to 6 projects within that period, because there is deadline for each project. Typically 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right, for each project that you work on. So you are working in teams, and you work Mondays to Fridays, but not 9 to 5. Not 9 to 5. You can commit a minimum of 3 hours, 2 hours, but just make sure you show up every day, Mondays to Fridays. And it's very flexible, because most people that join us, they are working or they are schooling, so they are very busy. So we expect you to commit a minimum of 1 hour. That's one. Secondly, you have meetings twice a week, like stand-up meeting. Like I said, it's a proper work experience. It's like you're working in teams. So we have those mentors working full-time with Amdari, not like volunteer mentors. You would have full-time people that you work with, right? So does that answer your question? So this is what Amdari internship is all about.
Yes, it does. Yeah, it does. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I'll still break it down a bit as we proceed. I mean, we just have to wrap up this panel session, and then in case anybody on the call, I know you already said that you have an arrangement that would bring you into the program after your training, which is fine. That's our value chain partner. They are our training, they are sister company, right? So it still works. So, but for every other person that would also want to know how to get started with Amdari, I would share that. And I didn't forget that I said I have a gift also. But please, in case you want to catch the recording of this session, my colleague is going to drop an attendance form in the chat. Let's say you want to share this session with your friends, we will be uploading it and sharing the link to this recording with you. Okay, so I want to release my guests so that we don't keep them too long. So I'll take the last question for them. Trust me, every other question you have, I will attend to it. But I want, we've stressed them so much today. So I don't want them to be exhausted before they drop off the call. So I'll take the second Miriam, and then yes, let me just take the second Miriam. Hi, Miriam. Hi, Miriam Omolabake. Yeah. Are you there? You want to give your slot to Nancy? I'll go. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Hello, Nancy. Are you there? Is Nancy here? I think I will move on to Chibon. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Chibon.
Yeah, you tried your very best. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
And thank you to all the panelists. So my question is similar to that of Miriam, but I'll be very practical. So I'm right here in the UK. Before I came for my master's, I have like 12 years experience working in data management for non-for-profit NGOs back home in Nigeria and also extended to the US. So now coming to the UK, you apply for jobs. I try to like stick to my sector and work around it. So for places like the NHS, for instance, they have an application form. And they're specifically asking you for the year you graduated in your first degree, the year you graduated for your master's. If you have any gap in your work experience. So places like that, how do you cover up? Because I've had things like you apply for this band and they tell you you're overqualified. And on the next band, maybe people that are already working in the sector are telling you that it's not like you can get in, but it might be difficult for them to accommodate you in that band because that's where you truly belong. So how do you navigate that? And even if you move to other sectors, I've also had that question in an interview where the recruiter is asking me that you graduated in this certain year, and because I had to reduce my CV and removed some of those ones I felt were not relevant, possibly from NYSC upwards, what was I doing in the last 4 years after graduation? So I don't know how we can. I know you answered Miriam's questions, but can there be more practical ways how you can switch and meet them at the meeting point? Because I've also gone for internships, and one of them saw my CV and said, "Oh, I shouldn't be applying for internship." And I know I can't really do a graduate role at this level. So how do you navigate all this and still land the role that fits your portfolio and you're not stepping down and you're high up there? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibomi. So I don't know if Itunu or Chisom want to take this. So Itunu, are you here? Or Chisom, do you want to take it?
Do you want to take it? I can. That's actually that's a tricky one. Honestly, that's a tricky one. I think LinkedIn recognizes career breaks. So I think that's if to I've never had a career break before, so I'm gonna speak just from the general knowledge that I know, right? So LinkedIn recognizes like you taking gaps in your career as career breaks. So I think it's important to be aware of that and just find a way to weave that in or something like that. Another thing is you can also, if there was a space, you can, if you took like certifications, like whatever what you said you were doing during NYSC is not, I mean, it cannot be on your CV, but it's not also irrelevant. It's not like as if you are wallowing away time or something like that. You can verbally explain like during this time that this is what I was doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be in your CV, but I think if you can still explain it, or have you tried that and you're getting a counter response or something like that, I think you can verbally explain what those gaps are. The fact that it's not in your CV does not necessarily mean that it's a lie or something. But Chibon, would that be the case? Have you tried explaining? Or Miriam,
Yeah,
do you
I
have
have.
something to
So
say?
Yeah, I was going to ask Ash because she had mentioned she has 12 years of experience. Is that the case?
Yes.
So after your 12 years of experience, you now have like a career break. Is that so?
Yes, I went in to do my master's.
So that is a good explanation for your
That's
CV.
a good explanation. Yeah, that's self-development, and
So
that's a
apply for what you're
very valid.
qualified for. Don't try to reduce your years of experience because you feel like you
Yeah.
don't use that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't. That's what I said earlier. Don't undersell yourself. It's bad. So
Yeah.
apply for roles that you're qualified for and tell them that your career break is because you went to study at a university. So add that to your CV at the same time and a couple of things you've done on your master's. That's it.
Yeah, even maternity leave is considered as a very valid career break. So,
Yes.
yeah, like LinkedIn, on your LinkedIn profile, you can add if you had like a career break. Sabbatical leave is considered as a valid career break. So, you just have to be able to defend it. That's all. If you can defend it, you should be good. And if I feel like if you feel this way, you need to then pay attention to the strategy and how you are applying, right? I think that's what will really make a difference. Be a bit more intentional about having that portfolio based CV that we've been talking about, is that would really back what you're saying up, because really when they can see that you can do whatever it is that you can do in form of a portfolio. And when I say portfolio, I'm not talking about just like your CV. Beyond that, show them something that they can actually hold on to, right? I think that would really, like Obayemi said, boost your confidence in how you're approaching this job based on your current reality, or to do it a bit differently from how you're doing it now. And then the gaps that you have are not are valid gaps, and I don't think it's something that you necessarily have to talk too much about. I went for a master's degree, I was on paternity leave. Those are valid reasons to be away from an actual job. So
Thank you very much, Chisom. Hi, Nancy. Does that, sorry, to answer your question?
Partially actually, but let me give other people chances too.
So actually, that's the last question for the night because of time, and so that we can also wrap up. But thank you so much, Chisom. Thank you so much, Itunu. Thank you so much, Miriam. Thank you so much, Opeyemi. So just before we wrap up, I would like them, and again, like I said, I'm still here on the call, and I would show you how to join the next cohort of Amdari internship, which is starting next month, 4th of April. And my gift to you still stands. I didn't promise because I just wanted to promise. I promised because I really have something for you. So so I can allow the guests, the panelists to go because of time. But of course, if they still want to stick around, they can. But let's just take the final words from them. So please, as a piece of advice, Chisom, what would you say to every other person listening on this call? I know we've said so much, right? We've said a lot and a lot has been addressed. But as a piece of advice, what's that major thing that you would tell the professionals on this call in terms of building a career in a foreign land? What's that key advice you would give to them on how to actually win when building a career in a foreign country?
okay, I'll say do it with intention. Like don't freestyle, right? Be intentional from the start, and don't also undermine like anything that you have done, like the volunteers showing up if you're studying, maybe volunteering or showing up maybe in the student society, that counts as something, as something, right? So do it with intention. Be intentional about the people that you surround yourself with. Beyond that, try to also network with people, right? And one of the things I did not used to do before that I wish I did, keep track of the people that you network. I know people say this, but then we really don't do it, right? When you meet new people that you think that you can add value to or would be of value to, do keep track of them and then check in like time and any other time, like one way or the other, just to stay in touch, right? Stay in touch essentially, so that when you need them or when they need you, you can pull from there. The biggest resource you can have in a foreign land is people resource, like people that can help you, people that can give you the right advice, people that can put you in places that would help you be 10 steps ahead and things like that. But yeah, think with intention, do things with intention, and and be proactive from the very start, because you don't want to wait until you're in the heat of the moment before you start thinking of, okay, what should I do to get myself out of this situation? You're already disadvantaged by being an immigrant. So find ways to give yourself every other advantage, right? That's what I always say. As a female, you're already disadvantaged. As an immigrant, you're already disadvantaged. As a Black person, you're already disadvantaged. So do everything you can do to give yourself that extra advantage.
Thank you so much, Chisom. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. All right. Thank you so much for your time, Chisom. I'll move on to Itunu right now, and then I come to Miriam, and then Opeyemi. Hi, Itunu, are you there?
Hi, Wumi. Yeah. Can you hear me? Sorry, it's bottling with my. Can you hear me?
So yeah, just like Chisom, I would also like you to give a piece of advice. Sorry for this coming in. Yeah, I'd also like you to give a piece of advice to everyone on the call. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, all right. I'm assuming that everybody is in diaspora, right? So, yeah. So I think one thing I would say is plan ahead. Like you don't wait to die minute before you start executing things, right? For me, I'm going to use myself as an example. Before I landed my full time, I already started to plan because I know how hard it is to get, sponsorship and all of those things. That was like one of the limiting, factor for us as international students here in the US, especially, like a lot of companies are not willing to like sponsor you and all of that. So I knew that might happen, so I had like a plan. I'm saying game plan. I had a plan, like by this time I want to, have gotten something. I want to have so at when I first got here, I got to know about, like ways you can self-sponsor yourself and, not just wait for organizations to like sponsor you, right? So those are one of the things I planned to, explore, and I plan to do it early, right? So I knew I had time. So in the US, you have like three years. If you're a STEM student, you have 3 years to like work full time, right? And you also have like some, months to do an internship. So I know that within this 3 years, like by year one or latest year two, I want to have some level of stability. So I planned ahead. And honestly, I would advise that you do the same so that you're not, you're not rushing to, like get things done. You're not rushing to, submit petition and all those things, die minutes, right? And running out of status. So that's one of the biggest thing I would say that, helped me, especially, like I was able to like explore my options. I was able to plan, not just plan ahead, like Chiso mentioned, with intention. I was able to like do things with intention. I know that, oh, this is what I need to do to get this thing, right? US has like different ways you can self-petition for yourself. So I started to do research and I also started to prepare towards it, right? So before I was done with school, a lot of things because I came here with to do a master's, right? So a lot of requirements, a lot of things that were required of you to self-petition, I had, gathered most of it, right? So by year one, I think it was year two, it was like 2023, right? I got my first petition approved, and year 2024, I got the second one approved, and that's how I became a permanent resident. So, like that planning ahead really helped me just because like I was able to, within that time frame, I was able to like gather my documents, gather things, volunteer, do some things intentionally rather, so that's like the biggest advice I would give you. Plan ahead so that you don't start rushing, like you don't start, rushing things at the final. Because I know that in the UK you have like is it 2 years? Honestly, I don't really, I know that there's like a year or two postgraduate, right? So if I am in your shoe, like that first year, I would, explore my options and see how, I can get settled by year one, at the latest. I mean, that might not really work for everybody, but yeah, I would say plan ahead.
That's actually very valid. Thank you so much, Itunu. So yes, the post-study visa is actually for 2 years. So instead of rushing, instead of applying desperately for skilled worker visa, start early with intention, right? So when you start early, you're not positioning to just, get the job because, oh, I need sponsorship. I'm 4 months, away from my visa expiring. You have time. Start very early, right? So that you don't start rushing. Because again, it's not charity. These guys want to sponsor you. It's not charity. It's a business decision. So are you making it easy for them to make a wise business decision, or it just looks like another cost about to pile up for them? So you need to, and also when you start early, you have no reason to be desperate for sponsorship. You know that you can just get your leg in first. And once you get your foot in the door, just prove your point, prove value, deliver, and sponsorship becomes very easy for them. So lastly, I would like to hear from Miriam, your piece of advice to them, and we'll just wrap up on that end once we hear from Okoyemi also. And again, I'll just show you how to join the next cohort of Amdari and my gifts to you. But please be, like I said earlier, if you would like to have a replay of this session, or there is somebody you would like to share this recording with, please fill the attendance form. My colleague will send this to you as an email first thing tomorrow. She's going to drop it right now in the chat again, and please ensure that you fill the form. Okay, so Jennifer, you can actually drop it. So hi Miriam. So what's your last advice to everyone on the call? Yeah.
So I would assume, most of the people here are all immigrants in different countries. And I understand the challenges, we face, apart from the fact that we are Black people mostly. You also come from a different background entirely. One thing I think most of, or some persons tend to forget is the fact that your CV is not the only thing that can sell you. So if you're doing data analytics, cybersecurity, for example, which is where I am, you can build portfolios aside your CV, like projects that you can share during an interview and discuss that so at the same time. So learn to stand out. I would like to think the kind of skills I have personally is something that most people wouldn't want to go into because they would take it as hard. And for me, it's not that hard. And genuinely think, I don't think, not just for me, generally. So my point is, whilst people are trying to go into a particular direction because it's an easy way, it doesn't mean the place that they think is the hard way isn't an easy way. So try to be special and stand out in whatever you do. Be very good at it. Be extremely good at it, because you're not just competing against other people. You're also competing at the fact that you're an immigrant, you're a Black person. You're not just, whether you're a man or woman, it's the same thing. You're coming from a place, you have an accent, it's as simple as that. So try to be very good at what you do, and also try not to ignore your soft skill. Don't be too stiff. Learn to be able to, relate with people, and learn to be able to keep conversations. It matters. So at the same time, and try to plan ahead. As Itunu said earlier on, I had my master's in the UK, but I knew I had plans already that I was not going to stay in the UK even before I even went for my master's. That's because I always have a 5-year plan. You get it? And sometimes it doesn't actually align to the perfect way of that my 5-year plan. There are things I don't actually accomplish in between them, but I work ahead of it. So I had plans that even for any reason, even if I was going to stay back in the UK, I was going to go for global talent. I was working on this with one of my friends. She got it, but I left the UK 4 months after I completed my master's degree. I was still having my post-study work visa has not even expired yet, because I left, I think, 2 to 3 months after I changed my visa status. I left. Do you get it? So learn to plan ahead, and always make sure that whatever you're doing, that you're good at it, that you stand at, and try to make things like your portfolio, not just your CV, things that you can showcase. And there's LinkedIn, brag about those things. There are people on those places that you can also get connection from. If you're living in London, for example, they have events that happens in Excel. Me, I know about this because from Monday to Saturday, if you go to that place, there's always a tech event in that place, and most of them are free. You can register on Eventbrite. And if you're also in the UK, you can check out Rich Volunteering for volunteer jobs. That might probably help you too at the same time to build the experience that you're looking for. So try to stand out, okay? I think Omaome's network has probably, or Opemi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That means it's a network. I will let you go ahead and speak while she joins back.
Okay. Thank you, Miriam. For everybody, I would say number one is write down your goals. What do you want to achieve? What are you aiming for? It's very important to write down your goals. Then number two, be fully involved in everything that will help you achieve that goals. Put yourself into it. Do everything that you can help you achieve your goal. Be fully involved with it, especially this Amdari program. I tell you, you have to, one thing is joining, another thing is be fully involved in all the activities, the projects, the presentations, and the sessions. Be fully involved. Then number three is don't give up. Just keep at it, keep applying, and be hopeful. One day, your congratulation message will come, and you will get that job you've been aiming for. Thank you.
I believe they have that growth manager. I would like to drop off now because we've extended the time, that is supposed to be. But I'm so happy for all those that joined, and thank you all. Thank you, Opeyemi, Chiso.
All right. Thank you so much. I am back now. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yes, can hear you.
Okay. For some weird reason, my internet disconnected, so I had to like change provider. So I'm just give me a minute, please. So let me just connect to my Wi-Fi. All right. Thank you all so much for the advice. And like I said earlier, I'm going to show everyone else on the call exactly how to join the internship program at Amdari. So please just give me a minute. Let me share my screen. Okay, I think I am back now. So I'm still with you, please. Trying to share my screen again. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Chisom. Thank you so much, Itunu. Thank you so much. Can anyone hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. Am I audible?
You're very audible. I can hear you.
Okay. Awesome. So let me share my screen so we can just wrap up. So I'll be done in like 10 minutes. I just want to show you how to secure your spot and join the internship program at Amdari. So just a minute. Let me show. Yeah, so I already explained what we do at Amdari while speaking to I think it was Miriam. Yeah, it was Miriam while speaking to her. So I won't go into the detail of that again. I'll just show you how to join the next cohort and pretty much what's in it, apart from the experience. There is the CV that we revamp for you. There is the LinkedIn that we optimize for you. There is also the interview prep session that we have with you. So just like Okoyemi shared her story, that's the same way we have a lot of interns in the program that have gone on to secure roles. Some of them have even landed sponsorship roles. But I would not be able to play those videos on this call. I would rather prefer that we send it to your email also. So please, once again, fill the attendance form and that will be shared with you. But just like I hinted while speaking to Miriam earlier, this internship is very straightforward and you would have to do the work also. And we always love to say, use Amdari. Amdari gives you everything you need to thrive, right? Beyond the experience, we revamp your CV, we optimize your LinkedIn. We also have interview prep sessions with you every Thursday. And there is the one where it's just one-on-one. That's you to the employability specialist and then your team lead. So let me just say 1 to 2, right? They prep you for interviews. It's a role play. So it's not like we send you a list and say top 20 questions a data analyst will be asked. No, that's not how it's done. So like I said earlier, you will be assigned projects from some of our project partners across the UK. Most of these companies are startups across the UK, US, and Canada, pardon me. Most of them are startups because it's easy to get projects from startups. They are always pivoting, they are always solving one problem, they are always changing ideas and all that. So these projects, you don't work on it alone. You work in teams, not in isolation. But you would have your individual experience because I mean, I'm on the call with you today. I have my team members, but I am the one speaking to you today, right? So that individual experience of delivering your own part of the task that contributes to the greater goal of that company or for that task, you will get to do that, okay? So every project you work on becomes something we add to your CV. So when we revamp your CV, we don't make things up. We put the actual problem you've solved, the solution you've provided, and the industry you played in, or the company you did this for, what's the industry, what did you do, what was the impact of your work. Metric wise, we also put it in based on the achievement. So every project you complete is added to your CV. And before it's even added, you get to present your project to your team leads, the stakeholders, and also your team members, right? So that's how it plays out. And I mentioned reference letter also. So if you think about Amdari, just think of the platform that helps you gain the experience that these recruiters need you to have. When you think of Amdari, also think of the platform that makes you job ready and also a platform that gives you the kind of reference that these recruiters want you to have. Reference letter that says, yes, you've done it before and we're ready to vouch for you. And these are samples of reference requests. So these are requests that we got. Sometimes this reference request comes after the intern has gotten a job or before they get the job. So this one is before the candidate got the job. This is for after a particular candidate got the job. So this one says, Olayinka has nominated you to provide an employment reference for the application to Healthcare Ireland. And of course, he got the job, thankfully, after we provided the reference. This other candidate says, this other email says, the above named has been offered a position as a systems analyst with our company and has provided your details as a referee. He has already gotten the job, so we also provided the reference that was needed. And this is the last one from Toyin, right? According to her, and there is a video here, because of time, I won't be able to play it, but I would like you to listen to it at your leisure hour, right? So Toyin said that the reference letter she got was one of the things that helped her land the job because it was airtight and there were 2 people that were considered for the role, but she was picked because of her reference letter. And the reference we give you covers for whether you're in the UK, US, or Canada. We have different teams across the US, UK, and Canada. So, in fact, the 2 other co-founders of Andari are in Canada, right? So, you are rest assured that this covers for all these 3 locations. So, in her case, and again, like I said, we stamp your reference letter, we also sign it. And this is the career trajectory of some of our interns that have landed those. You can check them out on LinkedIn, right? This is Sandra Odushola, who interned with us March last year, 2025. And she interned as a GRC analyst. Look at Sandra. Fast forward to what year? The same year, October, she already resumed a job with Hello DPO as a data protection paralegal. And then, again, her interview, she said that her experience of GRC was what helped her land the job. Now, this is another person I'd like to show us. Again, you can look this person up on LinkedIn. Her name is Judith Chineze Onka. She interned with Amdari as a data analyst consultant May last year, and she got a job in August, resumed with them September as a data analyst with renewable parts. Now, the last one I would show us is Betty Okwedadi. Again, you can look them up on LinkedIn. Now, for Betty, she interned with Amdari in January last year, and as at what month now? As at May, she already got a job with Echoes IT Limited in the UK as the same job title that she interned as. And even more, I always love to say she got the job with the same job title and she even got more because beyond just the experience, beyond just being an information technology project manager, she got that of a business project manager role. So it's very, very, it's obvious, it's evident, right? So like I said earlier, the next cohort is starting on the 4th of April. Please, can I see the lady from GRC? Okay, yes, let me go back. Her name is Sandra Odushola Stevenson. This is her. This is her. This is her current profile picture. I got this from her LinkedIn. So yeah, this is her right here. I hope you've gotten that. So that's exactly it, right? So the next cohort is starting next month, which is 4th of April. Let me go back there. 4th of April. Now, enrollment fee is £500. But remember, I said something earlier. I have a gift for you for spending your Wednesday with me, for joining our conversation today. Okay, her name is Betty Okwedadi. Let me come here. Okay, sorry. This is her, Betty Okwedadi. This screenshot is on LinkedIn, so I just did a little bit of design above here. This is just me doing my design, but this is her profile on LinkedIn, so you can check her out, Betty Okwedadi. All right, awesome. I believe you got that. So like I said, enrollment fee is £500, but I'm running a discount that would be closing tomorrow. Thankfully, it is the IWD season and it is the season to give to gain. So we're giving you this discount in order for you to gain experience. Now, you pay £300, not £500. And you can pay 3 times, £100, £100, £100. You pay across 3 months, not everything in 1 month. No, we are making it that easy for you. So you save more and you spend less on this program. And like I said, there is further advantage. And what is that? So now this discount, I still have a further discount, right? I will show you that. So yes, you can pay lesser than 300, but beyond paying lesser than 300, there is still more. There is the lifetime career support access. Now, what do I mean by this? The same way you are on this call with me today, the same way Okoyemi joined the internship program, that's the same way Jerry joined, and he got a job as a data analyst 2 months into his internship. I'll show you his LinkedIn profile. You can also check him out. Now, he joined us as a data analyst intern last year, got a job 2 months in, Fast forward to this year, he moved to Canada and he used Amdari for his work application and he got the job within 2 weeks. What do I mean? This was the message he sent to us last year when he got the job. And he said, "Hi, Emeka, that's the name of his team lead. Remember, I said you will have a team lead. You won't do this alone." So he says, "Hi, Emeka, just wanted to officially let you know that I've landed a data analyst role within the civil service and it's a level promotion too. I was asked to prepare a presentation on any data analytics project. I edited and submitted our first project. Saved me a lot of time and gave me confidence. Also spoke about the SQL project when they asked about data acquisition. Thank you so much for your mentorship, Emeka. Take your flowers, I beg." Now, remember what I said earlier about, and I think it will also, sorry, Chiso mentioned this while she was speaking. She said they asked her about another thing and she showed them a Tableau project. That's what interviews do. And he had more to show as proof. But that was the message of last year. That job he got was with civil service. His testimonial is going to be in the video that my colleague would share. So please, again, fill the form she will share with you. Now, this is this year. This is his LinkedIn profile. I got the screenshots from his page, okay? So he sent us this email. He says, "Hello, Efemena. I hope you are doing well. I recently moved to Canada about 2 weeks ago and have secured a role in the meantime as a data entry specialist with Alberta Blue Cross. For the application, I listed my role at Amdari as a data consultant, and I have now completed the reference section and included your details as a referee. Please let me know if you need any additional information from me." Now, he got the job within 2 weeks with the same experience he gained from Amdari last year. He didn't have to start all over again. No, that's the lifetime career support access that I talk about. And there is another one, which is the 6 months access to CV Matchly. CV Matchly is an AI platform that Amdari has partnered with. When you apply to jobs, you would understand that they would always tell you, you need to tailor your CV to this job role. You need to tailor your CV to that job role because you might not get the job if your CV is not well tailored. But you are using a master CV. You are generalizing it. You're using it to apply to every job available, which shouldn't be the case. So instead of going through the stress, right? Yeah, they have prior training, Miriam. Yeah, so they've taken a course and then they come for the internship. So they have prior training, but no experience, right? So this AI platform helps you tailor your CV to different job applications. So you don't need to go through the stress of tailoring it by yourself every time. And I'll show you how it works in real time. But let's talk about the other advantages. 30 days post-internships job sprint, which is where we support you with job applications 30 days after your internship in case you've not landed the job. So when people ask me, "Hi, Omomi, after the internship, what happens? Does it mean that my access to Amdari is revoked? Does it mean that I can't get this or get that from Amdari?" That's not the case. Yes, Jacqueline, we have it in business analysis. Yes, we have it. All right. So we support you 30 days after your internship. So if you look at it indirectly, you're getting 5 months. If you look at it. So this is limited slots. This is we have 10 more slots for this. For this one, we have 5 more slots for this CV Matchly access. Why do I say that? Because they only give us limited free plan, right? So for people that would need this free 6 months access, it is limited. It is limited. So if you need this, we have 5 more slots left for this. The last one I would like to talk about is the lifetime access to personal portfolio website. Now, this personal portfolio website, this is what it looks like. Just a minute. This is what it looks like. We have different templates, close to 20 templates that you can work with. Now, this portfolio website helps you build your own personal website. Amdari has created the template for you to work with. All you have to do is just fill a form and the website is auto-generated for you. Based on the template style that you pick, you get access to it. Now, this is open to every intern in the program, but only a limited few would have lifetime access. So for every intern in the program, you get 6 months access to this. But for people who are, so we have 5 more slots for people who need lifetime access. Now, the reason why the lifetime access is limited is because it's expensive to build a website, maintain it for you, pay for your domain name, pay for your hosting. You don't pay for all of this. You don't worry about domain name. You don't worry about all that. Even maintenance, Amdari handles it for you. And you can work with any template that you need. So how do you take advantage of this discount? Like I said, I see some questions in the chat and I'll take it, but this is how you enroll. My colleague has dropped the enrollment link, but I would also still drop it right here on the call. So when you click on that link that my colleague has dropped, which I would also just drop, you'll be redirected to this page. And like I said, right, there is an opportunity for you to get free, sorry, I think I copied the wrong thing. Just a minute. Okay, so this is the enrollment link. Yeah, so click on this enrollment link, you'll be redirected to this page. Scroll down, you see the different programs that we have: business analysis, project management, SOC analysis, ethical hacking, GRC, DevOps, app and cloud security, data engineering, data science, data analytics, project management, in case I've not mentioned that. So you come here, click on apply here for any of the programs that applies to you. Okay, click on apply here. Once you click on apply here, you'll be redirected to this page. Now on this page, you'll see that we have limited slots, right? You see that we have limited slots, and this offer is going to end in the next 24 hours. I don't know if you saw it earlier when I showed us, which I'll still show you. So click on apply here. By the way, before you click on apply, let's come here. So you can scroll down to read more. You can see some of your mentors right here. Okay, hold on. You can see some of the mentors you get to work with right here. So this, we have quality people, quality professionals for you to work with. And there are 6 slots left for those who want to take advantage of this discount. Yes, it's 24 more hours, but the slots are being filled up fast. So just follow my step to apply. With just £100, you can secure your spot today. With just £100, right? Time zone is going to be based on your time zone. Like I said earlier, we have teams for UK, for those joining in the UK. We have a separate team for those joining from US. We have a separate team for those joining from Canada. So your time zone is, because your team is going to be with people with your time zone. So that's another thing. All right, so once you come here, I said something earlier that there is further discount. The further discount is this: you get to pay just £280, not £300. But that means you have to pay full payments to get this further discount. But if you're going with installments, it's £300, which you pay across 3 months: March, April, and May. You can see the date here. Now, when do you want to start? Select April, because what better time to start than yesterday, right? So select that you want to start in April, and you can use this discount. Click on proceed to payment. Once you do that, you'll be redirected to this page that shows you a summary of your personal detail and right here in your payment breakdown. So because for this demonstration, I picked 3 installments. That's why you see first payment, second payment, third payment. So it gives you a breakdown: 100, 100, 100, again, 3 months. Now, we make life so easy for our interns at Amdari that we also know that it's possible you want to extend your next payment date further. So you see that by default, because today is 11th of March and you pay your first installment today, your next installment will be 11th of April. Or you don't have to pay on 11th. You can push it forward if your payday is further. So you can click on what date works for you. Oh, my paycheck comes in 27th. My paycheck comes in 28th. Pick the one that applies or that works for you. But if you're okay with 11th of April, that's also fine. If you're okay with even paying earlier, that's also fine. We don't auto debit you, so you have to initiate the payment from your dashboard, which I'll show you. So click on I confirm my information is correct and I have read the terms and conditions. You can click here to read the terms and conditions before you proceed. And you can even download it. All right. So click close once you're done reading, and click on pay now. You would get automatically redirected to the pay stack checkout page. All right. So once you get to the pay stack checkout, or rather Stripe, you get redirected to Stripe. So on the Stripe page, it's loading. You're expected to fill in your card details. So once you fill in your card details, just click on pay now. So it's still loading, but I'm not going to be filling an actual card detail. So let me just show you how to finish up your enrollment from here. So let me just show you from here. Okay, yeah. So let me just show you from here. Okay, see, yeah. So once you fill in your card details, you click on pay. It just says processing and does your check mark for you, which you see here. So let's put it on ×2 so I can just narrate it for you properly. So once you pay, your payment is successful and you are redirected to a page like this to fill this form. Please ensure you fill the form, okay? It's very, very important so that we can have your enrollment on the back end. So when you fill this form, it is going to collect your It will say type in your skill level, your country of residence, your gender. All right. How did you find out about Amdari? Instagram, LinkedIn, whichever one. What influenced your decision to enroll? Type it here. If it's the IWD conference, type it there. Which of our sessions influenced your decision to enroll? Right here, you see some options. Click on IWD conference. But if you don't see IWD conference here, again, the form is a bit different from this, but it's the same information. If you don't see IWD conference, feel free to just type the IWD conference here where you type what influenced your decision in case you don't see it as part of the dropdown. But if it's part of the dropdown, just click on IWD conference and complete your setup. Okay. So once you complete your setup, you will be automatically redirected to this page that says your enrollment is successful, and it will say go to dashboard. Click on go to dashboard and you'll be redirected to Amdari crash course page. So this crash course page supports people that have not taken a course before. So it helps you take the course, and you have about 4 weeks before the start of the internship. So it's an opportunity for you to take a course for free without paying for training, right? So you can just quickly take the course from the Amdari crash course page, and we also provide support in case you've not, because you can take a course and you don't understand this, or this tool was not covered while taking your course. We don't expect that you know everything starting this internship. So it's okay if you don't know everything. If you've never worked with, you've never learned Python as a data scientist or as a cybersecurity analyst, you never worked with Kali Linux, don't worry, this internship will provide you with the support that you need. So that's exactly how this works. So you'll be able to, so your access to this crash course page is automatically unlocked once you pay. So you can take the crash courses, and then you can come to billing page in case you want to see how much is left of what you've paid, or you just want to keep track of your billing. We do not auto debit you, like I said. That's why you see this button here that says pay now. So you have to initiate your payments yourself. Okay, so that's exactly how to secure your spot in the internship. This is just a breakdown of your payment plan, your upcoming payments, the one you paid, and that's just how it works. Okay, so that's exactly all about how to secure your spot and enroll. So like I said earlier, we have limited slots. So if you want to take advantage, please do so tonight, because the countdown, let me come to the website. Because if you come to the website, you see that the countdown says 24 hours. Sorry, I think I clicked on something. Yeah. So if you come to the website, you will see the countdown right here, 24 hours, 45 minutes. So be among the first to secure your spot. All right. So I'll take questions right now. So I'll be able to take about 2 more. Anna says ignore. Okay. That's okay. Sorry. I think a call is interrupting my audio, so I might not hear if you type. But let me see. Let me just end the call. Just a minute. Yeah. Okay. So yes. Let's come back to my slide. Thank you all so much for your attention on the call today. So I will take questions right now for those that have questions for me. I'm looking at the chat to see if I have any. But let me just take Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Okay. Pearl, I just your. Yes, you need to create accounts before payment is made. So if you follow my step, it will tell you that you need to create accounts. So yes, sorry, I forgot to mention that. So just create the account. It's a simple step. So just create your account and you'll be redirected to the payment checkout page. I hope you got that, Pearl. So yes, you need to create account. So it will just show you that it's a very simple step. Create your account and you move on to the next thing. Yes, awesome. Okay, so please don't forget to fill the form once you're done enrolling. Okay, I see that Pearl has secured a spot. Welcome on board. And Alima also, welcome on board. Lydia also, welcome on board. So I'll take your questions right now. So for all those that have secured their spots, Lydia, Halima, and Pearl, thank you. You would receive the necessary information regarding your internship confirmation letter and everything else. So yeah. Hi, Nancy. Can you unmute yourself? Are you able to speak?
Hi, sorry, can I say something?
Okay. Yes, Winnie, go on.
So I needed the link because I'm using my phone. I'm not doing it on my laptop. I needed the link to
Okay.
the application.
Should I drop it here again?
Yes, please, so that I could copy and thank you.
Yes, so we just dropped it. So you can either copy mine or copy the one my colleague dropped. It's the same link, actually. All right, thank you, Winnie. Nancy, are you able to unmute yourself now? Because I called you earlier, but I'm not sure I heard you.
Yeah, yeah. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you, Nancy.
Yeah, so my question is, if you are someone coming from healthcare and you want to transition into tech, but you have a background in project management, you did it as a module in your master's program, what would be the roadmap to maybe get a role into healthcare, health tech, sorry?
Okay. So can you repeat the start of the question again, please?
Like, I have a background in project management, which done the I've done the certification, and I work in the healthcare. So I'm asking if I can use the project management to find a job in health tech.
Okay. So it's going to be in the quality of projects that you work on. Like I said earlier while speaking, the different projects our interns work on are from different industries, right? So you need to build experience in that industry as a project manager. So what are the projects on health tech that you worked on? It could be that you built a digital product for a health tech company, right? And you were the project manager that oversaw the entire process from initiation, ideation, to project planning and execution, as well as handover and documentation, right? The teams you worked with also. And so, yes, it can be from the quality of project itself. So I want to show you something real quick. Let me come to this. So for every intern enrolled, you would have a dashboard. Now, how you can go to your dashboard is here. You can see this is my image. That's because I've already uploaded my picture. So for you to go to your dashboard, you need to click on this, your icon. That's so if you've not uploaded your picture, you won't see your image, or you see like an avatar. So click on it to come to your dashboard. Now you would have something here that would say internship. You would have something here that would say internship, right? So here with the internship, but in your case, because your internship starts on the 4th, you won't see anything yet. It will be empty, but you see all of this stuff, but it will be empty because you've not started. So it's still like in a few weeks' time. But let me show you for those that have started and what their internship looks like. So now this is program right here at the top. It says project management internship. And right here, it says cohort November. Now, I clicked on my internship program. It says project management internship. Now I want to click on view projects. Now this is it. This project says something on project initiation of a digital payment system implementation for a fintech. This one says project initiation of a staff management system implementation for HR. This other one is development of centralized data platform for real estate company. And this one says learning management system. I want to show you something on healthcare. I think I am missing the cohort. I must have mixed it up. So I want to show you a project on healthcare. I hope I'm able to find that. Let me check business analysis. So it will just, so that's how the project will cover different industries. You see one on fintech, one on real estate. So you're able to build experience in health tech if you want to have that. And by default, this experience covers all of these important industries that we know that recruiters are hiring majorly in, and your kind of profession thrives more in it. So your project would pretty much be around anything that sets you up for success, right? So not like, okay, you waste time on project that might not be in relevant industries, and then you go back to the job market, searching and searching and searching. So does that answer your question?
Yes. So it that means you will not choose, you will be able to choose the kind of projects you have to work on.
Okay, so it's not you choosing, it's going to be you speaking to your team lead about your goals in this program so that the projects you are exposed to aligns with your goal, right? But the projects are assigned and you work on them real time. So it's typically not a case of, okay, I can pick the project. It's not like a course. It's not like a training program where, it's like curriculum based and everything is just, it's very much real time and it's based on the companies that share the projects with us, right? So the minute you let your team lead know what your goal is, and this is communicated during your onboarding is on 4th of April. Before your onboarding, which is on 4th of April, there is something we call the Internship Activation Summit. So it's a session where we have everybody that is starting their internship on that day with the stakeholders at Amdari. You meet them on the call before you now meet your actual team lead on Saturday, 4th of April. So it's now that Saturday that you guys would address the goals and what will help you win after the program and in program, because you need to start applying from week 6 to jobs, right? So we bear all of that in mind and we make sure that we work in alignment with your goals. So you just let your team lead know from the onboarding stage. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. I hope you'll be joining us, Nancy.
Yes. So my issue now is, I've not used it to work before, and this will be my first time working on an actual project. The project I did was a hypothetical one, which I had to formulate by myself just to understand the concept. But I have not actually worked in the in any project management field, because after school I've been in the healthcare and now I want to transition.
Okay.
So I don't
Yeah.
really have a real world experience in that.
That's what this program is about. That which you're currently lacking is what this program gives. Real world experience that you don't have at the moment. That's what you get ultimately.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks a
So
million.
look forward to having you.
You're welcome.
Hi, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Hi,
Naomi.
Winnie. Yeah.
I'm trying to make the payment, right?
Mm.
So do I have to pay under a particular course?
Yes, you need to pick a program. You need to pick a program, just like I demoed. So you need to, let me show you again. You need to pick a program. Let me come back to our diary website. Just a minute, I'm with you. So when you click on the link I dropped, so let me just click on that. Click on, sorry, I clicked on the wrong link actually. Can you say that again?
I said I've created the account. I'm already inside the website. It's just to make the payments that I'm.
Okay. So just follow my lead. So when you select the program, are you here or you already gone past here?
1 minute. I think I'm there. Choose and explore a career path, right?
Yes.
That's
So pick the
here.
one that you want to go for. Click on apply here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
So
it
you see this page. Click on apply now.
okay?
You click on apply now. Then you
Can
see
I?
this page where you can, yeah.
I wanted to,
Oh,
because
I'm
I'm
sorry.
confused. I wanted to make inquiry. Can you just give me like a brief description of what? Okay, governance, risk, and compliance career.
That's under
Okay.
cybersecurity, by the way.
But ethical hacking
GRC
is
under,
okay, but
also under
ethical.
cybersecurity,
What's a product design?
not under cybersecurity. Product design is about UI UX design. So from your question, Winnie, I think you've not taken a course.
No. Okay, fine. Let me just summarize. Is it okay?
Okay. Yes, that's fine.
I was in the banking industry in Nigeria, right? Came here and did an MBA. So, but because of this status thing, I wasn't able to get like a sponsorship role. So I was just I did Lloyd's Bank at some point, but because of sponsorship, I had to leave because they were wasting my time. So now I want to just switch to tech because I want to be working remotely. So I was looking at service delivery or Scrum or compliance and risk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's something you said that caught my attention. You said even if you've not done the training before, that there's something like a summary you can do before prior to the training.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Yes.
distort what we are doing. I'm sorry, class. I'm sorry that I'm distorting what our discussion. So I'm kind of, if I select a course now and I can be able to brush up before the main internship, right? Before the date.
Yes, you can. And when the program starts, if you have questions or there are some things that are still unclear from you taking the course, then you have your team lead. What it just means is you do a bit more than others because the knowledge is fresh for you. So there is office hours. You can jump on a call with your team lead to catch up or to ask questions about things that are unclear. So they support you on that end also. So yes, you get support from your team lead when the internship starts. But before it starts, you can have that head start so you can quickly brush up. And you have about 4 weeks or 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Which one do you plan on going for, by the way?
It should be between project management and business analysis, but I wanted to do service delivery because I'm targeting sorry.
Yeah, I said let me show you the crash courses for both of them. So once you pay, like I said, your access to the dashboard will be unlocked. So you will see learn here. This place that my cursor is. Click on learn. Once you click on learn, come to this page, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and you see the different programs. But most of them might not really be something you're interested in, of course. So you see data science, data analytics, etc. Click on project management or business analysis because these are the two that you're interested in. And you can have access to all. It's not like, oh, you paid for project management, you can't access business analysis. Oh, you paid for business analysis, you can't access project management. No, that's not the case. So click on explore and you see project management fundamental course. You see introduction to project management methodologies. You see project initiation. So these are the courses here. You would see project management structure, project management planning phase, etc. It just goes on and on. Advanced Scrum framework, agile, planning phase. Everything is just there, right? So you can select the same thing for business analysis. If you click, you've noticed that these are courses that we have: product lifecycle, requirement lifecycle, process mapping, gap analysis, business case software development lifecycle, dashboarding in Excel, and all that. There's also Microsoft Excel for data cleaning as a business analyst, of course, and SQL. So you can take these courses on the website.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let me just decide between the two of them and pay for one.
Yeah, that's fine. And if you make up your mind to switch back, because it might be a short period for you to decide, you can still change before your internship starts. So in case you pay today and you picked project management without paying, just let us know that you want to switch back to business analysis before your internship starts, and we'll switch it for you.
Are we going to have like a WhatsApp where I can communicate, or is there going to be a Teams?
Okay. Yes, there's going to be a WhatsApp group for your team, but that would come with the email you get few weeks to the onboarding, right? Your WhatsApp group, everybody on your team is going to be there. Then even your team lead's phone number, their email address, everything will be sent to you via email before 4th of April. But in case it's just something like, oh, you still want to speak to us even before onboarding. Yes, so Jennifer, can you drop your number, please? So my colleague is going to drop her number on the call right now so she can attend to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. All right. So let's just say
hi, please, my hands have been raised for a very long time. Can I speak?
Hi, Miriam. Yes, please go on. Sorry.
Okay. So as I said, I got to know about this company probably through 10 Analytics, and I'm not really sure why you guys are doing complementary things, and I'm not really sure why the line between you guys is very it's kind of still very very, very pronounced, because from this whole program, from this whole webinar that I listened to and listened to you as well, it's kind of clear that I was actually supposed to just be doing an internship, not to be doing training for 6 months again. And then they said, oh, internship is gonna be with Amdari. Okay, that was probably my own. I've been misled probably. My question is, what really is the relationship between you and these people, so that I know if I talk to them, are they able to transfer my whatever to you guys, and I just start with the internship, because I'm really tired of taking courses here and there and there and there, and then, like, I hope you understand what I'm saying. So what really is the link between you guys? Are you guys complementary? I don't know if you know 10 analytics. That is
I know
where
10
we are.
analytics.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just my question, because I really
to.
want to just do right now. I just want to do training. I just want to get experience. All right. I don't want to start doing courses anymore. I've done too many courses in my life. So that's my question. I just want to know, do you have any partnership or cooperation, whatever? I just want to just do the internship. That's it.
All right. So yes, we are actually sister companies with Analytics. So Ifemena and Adeza, who are also co-founders at Amdari, they are co-founders at Analytics. So yes, you can transfer your enrollment from Analytics to Amdari. And what you also said is correct. Most times we get stuck taking more courses after another course, thinking that whatever it is that is blocking us from getting a job will only come from another course. Whereas what you need is to switch up how you're learning. And learning by doing, which is internship, is the next step after a training. So not more training and more trainings. Yeah. So you can transfer. Let them know, and we would hear. Just let your team lead know, and we'll take it up from there. So they'll just transfer it to the program here.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna leave now. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Nancy, is that a new hand? So that will be the last question.
So
okay, before I take your question, can I respond to Festus, please? Sorry, please.
Okay.
Festus says, after the internship, we did the job recommendation. So I said something earlier about job sprints, Festus, where I said we support you for 30 days to apply to jobs. That's an alumni community where the employability team at Amdari supports you with these job recommendations that I talk about. So yes, there is that also. And yeah. Hi, Nancy, please go
on. I just remembered something. I've been following Analytics for over a year now, and I've also been following Amdari. I think latter part of last year, I joined one of the seminars, and I asked the question about, if you don't have any experience in using project management tools, but you've done the theory aspect of project management and you want to go into the internship, what they told me was, even if I have knowledge in project management, I can't go into the internship, because before you join the internship, you have to know everything about the program you want to go into before they can accept you into. Either than that, you have to start from Analytics and also go through the theory again, because they are not going to teach you how to use the project management tools. So I want to just confirm that before, if I want to register, I can do that. If not, then I'll know where to start from.
Yeah. So you don't need to know everything. Just have the foundational knowledge, and that's all. The internship is meant to build every other competence level that you are supposed to have, right? So you don't need to know everything. When I went in for my own internship, because I also did internship, right? When I went in for it, I interned as a front-end developer. I could only write codes in 2 programming languages, just 2, where we have multiple. And even the 2 programming languages I learned, they were not the major ones. It was the internship that exposed me to the most important tools that I needed as a software developer. So I learned a lot on that. I ditched those 2 programming languages just to start learning how to build a website with another one. And guess what? I only got in with just that basic knowledge that I had. The landing pages I was building at that time, nothing to write home about in terms of standards, in terms of, it was just, I can code, I can write some lines of codes, and this is what I've been able to achieve with it. And it wasn't even in a major programming language, and it was just 2 that I used. right? So you don't need to know everything. That's why we are aware of that at Amdari. That's why we support with these crash courses, and that's why even your internship, there is an opportunity for your team lead to support you with some form of learnings, right? So yeah.
Okay, so is
So
there a
that-
contact or way to communicate with you to get the understanding well before I register? Because that was what actually made me not sign up last year.
last year, okay. So
So is there any way I
yeah,
can
my
have a
colleague dropped her
communication
number
before?
earlier. Yes, my colleague dropped her number earlier, so I'm dropping it again. So just reach out to her on this line. But if you still want to speak to me, you should let me know, and I'll just call you. Or you can just send her a message. But if I have to speak
Okay.
to you, I'll get your number from her and I'll call you. Is that okay?
All right. So I'll do